teed up right now. All right, we are live. Oh shit, broadcast not available. What the fuck? Broadcast is not available. What the fuck?
No.
What the fuck's going on? It says broadcast not available. Just battling once again.
Who you choose to represent you matters. Being part of your community.
Oh, we're up. We're running, baby.
The trial attorneys at Sweet.
All right, we're up and running. Welcome into Hockey Night in Scottsdale.
Folks, how the hell we living out there today, baby? 93.1 and yours truly, the Heat Daddy, live from the couch here in full gear. Scottsdale, Arizona. Tonight, Heat Daddy, we have the Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the next coming of Jesus. That is Connor Bedard and the Chicago Blackhawks. Brother, how are we doing?
Dude, I'm doing good. You know what? I'm so sorry to Connor Bedard and his entire family because I spent the whole summer saying this kid's not going to get 32 goals. He's not going to be the hype that everyone thinks he's going to be. And you know what? He's really sticking it to me right now. I mean, this kid has like 4 goals in the last 4 games or something crazy like that. And yeah, I think he's the real deal. And I think he's really starting to, show that he's a dynamic player in this freaking league.
The real deal, James Neal. Shout out to Nealer, friend of the program, loves the Heat Daddy. But yeah, I can echo on that, Heat Daddy. I think Connor Bedard, 2 goals last time in his outing in South Florida versus the Panthers. Tonight, Pete Mrazek gets a start versus Jonas Johansson. But yeah, I think he's going to stay hot. Obviously, he is the talk of the town and the leader in the clubhouse in terms of, the rookie of the year. As for the Calder, I took him tonight for under a point, half a point. So I think he's going to get at least 1 point tonight. But I think that Tampa Bay is going to be able to respond. They lost their first outing against the Blackhawks earlier in the season. So a lot on the line. Obviously, you have the young star. Fella, I'm fired up. We're in fucking full gear right now.
Yeah, I'm fired up. I smell like shit. I actually skated yesterday, and I did not air out my equipment. I left it in the car with the bag zipped, so I smell like a dead body. But anyways, if this game sucks, Swish, we'll just switch it over to that big boy fuck you hockey, that Western Conference in your face, go fuck yourself hockey. But for right now, we have Jonas Johansson to Jonas Johansenberg. Everyone's named the same thing over there, but I think Bedard's going to get one tonight. And I could see Chicago winning this game, actually. I'm going to go out on a limb.
Yeah, folks, welcome to Hockey Night in Scottsdale. If you're just joining us live from North Scottsdale here on the couch, full gear, fight straps on, throwing both ways. If you're following along in the feed, right now we are at 1941 and counting as Mikhail Sergachev goes down 200 feet for the icing. It'll be lining up in the Chicago defensive zone here. Heat Daddy, I got to go get my shades on. I don't feel right. I need the shades on with my fucking,
It's all right. John Cooper's giving a pregame speech. All right, guys, here now. Come on now, off. John Cooper. I do want to say that Swish does have his skates on. Imagine John Cooper in the room. He's just a lawyer. He's like, guys, we just got to stick it to him. We just got to get it together here, 1 period at a time, 1 mile at a time. We're going to put someone on the LTIR soon, so everyone calm down.
Oh, yeah, this feels way better.
Oh, yeah, that's rock star shit.
Dude, we had an outdoor practice one time. I'm getting a little off kilter here, but we had an outdoor practice in Helsinki, Finland, and I wore my Tom Ford shades on the sheet. And boys are like, what kind of shades are those, Swish? I'm like, they're expensive, buddy. You ever heard of them?
Yeah, this ain't no hobby. The birds were just barking.
Oh yeah, this feels nice here, boys. All right, folks, if you're following along again, we just started our coverage live from the couch here. Chicago taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning at home. Folks, a lot on the line tonight, but at the same time, not really. We're just tuning into the next biggest star in the game of hockey, Connor Bedard.
Yeah, because honestly, both these teams came out of the gate pretty slow. We know Chicago was going to have a 10-win season, but Tampa they don't look that great either. I mean, look, you play 3 years of Stanley Cup hockey, you might get tired. We're all human. Being the fat fuck that I am, I don't even know how these guys play a regular 82, let alone playoffs 3 years in a row. So
no, that's insane to think about, Rob. And sorry to cut you off there, but to think about to go to 3 Stanley Cup finals, win 2 out of 3. I mean, you're playing into June 3 times out of those years, 3 for 3, 2 of those years, you got to remember, was COVID. 1 being in the bubble. Like, that is a mental grind, brother. And it kind of seems to show. I mean, analytically, a guy like Hedman's really fallen off early in the season. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, these guys know what they're playing for. They know they just got to get to April to get in the playoffs to give themselves a chance. But early on, they look a little tired and a little banged up, fella.
And look, if you're getting paid in National Hockey League, me personally, I would kind of just get my deal and slack off. So I don't blame them if they get paid, they slack off. They're in Tampa, go jet skiing, maybe cheat on your wife a couple times. But like, at the end of the day, we're all human. You know, sometimes like Darnell Nurse, people are like, why isn't he performing? Well, he got paid. It's kind of hard to stay motivated when you already have money in the bank. Shorty, what do you drink?
Shorty, what you drank?
Lil Scrappy once said. Shout out to Lil Scrappy, friend of the show. I actually think he might be in prison as Bogosian wraps it around the corner up the wall, too.
Scrappy Furta has a couple domestic violence charges on him, but that's neither here nor there. But I agree. If you're going to do a little bit of cheating, this might be the year for them, Rob. I just think their back end is a little bit thinner this year. They've had some guys banged up. Vasilevsky is kind of coming back from an injury, and I don't know. You got the star players, but again, brother, that's a lot of hockey, and
it's a lot.
You know, in their bottom 6 forwards has really changed over the years, right? You don't have Patty Maroon anymore. You don't have some of these guys that really got you there. Barclay Gaudreau, some of these guys that, you know, have kind of moved on because they've been casualties. So it'll be interesting to see how they rebound. And who is this number 11, as we say? Who is this?
Is that Kubalik?
Who is number?
Oh, what a hit by fucking
Glendening, still in the league. Oh my God!
Adam Glendening?
No, that's Luke Glendening. Remember him?
Oh,
you're thinking of Adam Glendening.
Oh yeah, Glendening, Glendening, tomato, Pan. Oh, no D at the end. But yeah,
that's a forward playing D right there. That's a PK for life. Came up in the Grand Rapids system. Obviously played for Detroit a long time with Mike Babcock. It's surprised. So that's a guy that they add to their bottom 6, right? A lower AAV. He's probably making about $800,000. And I don't know. I think when that musical chairs gets going, Rob, you just don't really know what to expect because the guys that you won with aren't there anymore.
Yeah, you know, well, you got to have, the goal is to have a quick turnaround, and you don't want to fall to the bottom of the standings. And because Gary's not going to give you that first overall pick unless your team has a scandal. So, yeah, you want to stay relevant. You want to do what you could do. And I'm glad you brought up Patty Maroon here. Did you see Nick Cousins? Now, listen, I don't usually chirp guys that I don't know, but Nick Cousins on the ice called Pat Maroon fat the other day. It's like, dude, you got to get more creative than that, right? I mean, shout out to Pat Maroon. He's in the National Hockey League. The guy's not fat. Even if he was, that's kind of beauty being overweight in the NHL at the same time.
100%. And I'm a guy that I had a pleasure of playing with Patty Maroon for about a half of a season. And yes, he will tell you firsthand. And obviously, over the years, he's actually cleaned up his diet. He's a little thinner than he was even when I played with him. But he'd always say, hey, buddy, I'm chubby, not fat. And I also throw both ways. So if you really want to get into it, I'll pump your eyes shut, right?
Yeah, and honestly, like I said, I'm not here to talk shit. I'm a guy on the couch in full hockey gear and my gear is wet. But like, I'm not a Nick Cousins guy. There's something about him. I feel like he might, you know, cheat in card games on the plane, you know, stuff like that.
The old Subban.
Yeah, I mean, remember PK Subban used to do that?
Oh yeah, he was funneling cards under the table, allegedly, of course. I mean, we weren't sitting on that bird.
That's insane.
That
is right.
We weren't on that bird, but that's what allegedly was happening. If you're making 9 in a hook and you're cheating in a card game, I mean, come on, man.
I mean, what's next? Your wife proposes to you?
You're going full Vonner. You're going Oppo Taco. Now she's on the Colin Kaepernick dropping down. Like, what's going on here?
No disrespect. Here's the face-off. Chat, we'll get to you guys at the commercial break. Like always, if you're new here and you're in the chat, shout out to all 229 of you on Twitter posting up. We appreciate that. To get in the chat, just go on Twitch or YouTube, and we always get to the chat at commercial break. And
yes, we do.
And let us know where you're from. We want to know where you're tuning in from.
Yeah, where are you drinking tonight? If you're driving home, what are you doing tonight? Are you a little stoned? I saw someone's a little half-cocked in the chat. I love that. If you're poking the oney, although RIP to a guy that actually hung up his bong today. Snoop Dogg, fella, I hope you're okay. He's not smoking anymore. Folks, that's neither here nor there because right now we have 15:35 and counting as Brandon Hagel makes a little silhouette turn, rounds up ice in his own end as he gets to the blue line and throws it over to Kucherov, who slows it down, throws it over to Darren Radish. And folks, get at us in the chat. We will get to you in a little bit. We have 0-0 right now as Braden Point brings it over the offensive blue line. I love this line here, Heat Daddy with Hagel, Pointer, and Cooch. I think these guys are nasty together. I think this Hagel kid's a really good player.
So good.
From Chicago.
Yep, I like him a lot. This is a revenge game for him. Look at Kucherov, just wheeling around. I swear to God, I can barely watch this game because that Jersey Mike's logo is just barking in my face.
An extra wet Italian for you, Rob. That's your favorite, eh?
Give me Italian Mike's way. Just have the employee sit on it bare ass just to make sure it's wet enough.
Just all bare bare bottoms and butt cheeks, brother. A little maybe Vaseline on that, a little aerosol to get you done. But a guy like Connor Murphy, I want to touch on Heat Daddy. I feel like he's been in either Chicago or Arizona for the last like 12 years, not doing a whole lot. And that's no disrespect to him. He makes 3 and a hook, but he's a guy that kind of just bothers me. I'm sure he's an all right guy, but I don't know. I've always been bothered by him a little bit. Maybe that's a personal problem.
Yeah, it might be personal. I'm pretty sure. Didn't he say the N-word last game? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, he's a guy that I don't really pay attention to. He's just kind of out there. There's a lot of guys like that, and I guess it's a good thing for him because even though if we have a personal vendetta against him, because sometimes in life you just don't fucking like people, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right, and I'm sure a lot of people don't like me, and that just is what it is.
I know for a fact people don't like me. I read it every day in my mentions. But,
right, it's just like, who cares? And we'll move on. And folks, we're going to move on to a little bit of a studio update out of Pittsburgh. Erik Karlsson, wow, he's been a nice little addition in terms of being on the offensive side of things. I think a team like New Jersey right now, they're playing for better days, right? Heat Daddy, they got Heischer out of the lineup. They got Little Jizzy, Jack Hughes. They'll find their way. They'll get back at it. And Bedard back on the ice here, 14:07. Folks, if you're following along with us, how we doing? I appreciate you. We appreciate you for joining the chat. Seth Jones sends it down the wall and just, for 9 and a hook, man, that's another defenseman that might be making a little too much bread, right? He kind of robbed the bank, and there's nothing wrong with robbing
with that.
Nothing
wrong with even robbing a bank in real life, even though no one does that anymore, Swish. You never see people robbing banks because, you could just do credit card fraud.
It's
a lot easier.
You don't really see anyone going full Dougie McRae from the town and holding, court and in the streets, right? You don't really see anyone just robbing a bank and getting away with it anymore. I wish we kind of had that back in our game.
A little bit of that Wild West shit, That's like Scottsdale back in the day as we're about to hit a commercial break, I think. So we're going to take it to the chat. And we're tuning. Hold on, let me scroll up in the chat.
Folks, get at us in the chat. Ask us what's going on. How the hell you doing out there today, baby? Where you drinking from? Where you watching? Tune in and chirp at us. Get at us, baby. What's going on tonight?
Thank you for the respect for the full equipment. It's taking a lot out of my heart. It's blood, sweat, and tears sitting in this fucking wet.
You were on the sheet a couple days ago. I can smell you from here. It smells like a staph infection over here.
Yeah, you guys want to hear what happened? Shout out to people on Twitter. So I got on the ice. Friend of the show, Mr. Lappin, invited me to an ASU alumni skate. So I go there. First thing that happens, I get on the ice. I collide into a guy full speed in warm-ups. I've never done that in my whole shitty career. And he goes flying, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know whose fault that was. So I collided with a guy full yard sale in warm-ups of the skate. And then 5 or 6 shifts in, I realized everybody has a D1 resume or minor pro, and I just wasn't good enough to be there. So I took 5 shifts and I got the hell off. But it was a miserable time for me. Made me realize that I'm just not good at this sport, but that's okay.
Sometimes you just got to remove yourself from the action, right? You kind of knew where your game was at. It didn't stack up at where these guys were playing at the level. Sometimes you just got to be a healthy scratch after a couple of shifts, right? Hey, I got the swine flu. I got to go home.
Yeah,
right? I got to pack my shit, go right to the bar.
Yeah, not an excuse guy, but I was coming off a 3-day bender there.
3 and a hook, yeah.
Yeah, and on the bench, 3 and a hook.
3 and a hook, Las Vegas, Nevada.
And some guy on the bench, like five minutes into the skate, he's like, "We need more pace." And I looked at him. I thought he was kidding, but he was being dead serious. He wanted more pace.
Right,
so at that point, I knew I'm not meant to be.
Get the puck going north, boys. Don't be turning back here. Let's get it going. Who was the best player on that ice surface? If you're going to name one name, I guess we don't have to be Johnny name dropping, but who are like these random guys playing in Scottsdale with decent credentials per se? They're playing in the easy come, hard to leave ECHL, maybe a couple AHL guys, jungle. Like who looks solid out there?
Yeah, you know what? I actually didn't really know anybody, to be honest with you. Like I didn't know names.
They all had like the pro helmets on.
And yeah, they did. I actually don't know any names. Okay, so I know. Shout out to Joe Lappin.
Joey Lapp.
He was out there. He was wheeling around, but Seth Jones comes up the board, and Jersey Mike's on the boards too. I mean, it's getting me a little hungry.
It is getting me a little hungry. And speaking of hungry, I just think with the Chicago Blackhawks team, Heat Daddy, I've been tweeting, I've been preaching about it on my pod, Live in 5. Shout out, I'll plug that quick. But hear me out on this. Say a guy like Willie Nylander outprices himself in Toronto. They're not able to re-sign him. He kind of is commanding about a $11 million AAV on a 7-year deal. What if he signs with Chicago? And say Edmonton continues to struggle, or maybe they're, about this year or next year, this time, they're still kind of going through their rut, maybe a first, second round exit. who's to say Draisaitl doesn't end up with the Blackhawks? I mean, this is a team that has the cap space.
Are you saying that Nylander and Draisaitl are going to end up in Chicago?
I'm just throwing it out there because it could
Oh my
happen.
God,
they have
good.
I mean, who am I to say? I'm not Scotty Bowman over here, but I'm just thinking like out loud. If there's one place that can afford both these guys to go play with Bedard, it would be a team like Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking outside the box. Shout out to Chicks with Box, but yeah, no, I mean, it could be doable, and you know,
I mean, it's just a crazy hypothetical, right? You're sitting around smoking a little PCP, but like that is something I'm kind of looking at. I'm like, fuck, that team has the tradition, they have the player, but how choked would a guy be like McDusty if
Mick Harley Davidson would be so mad. But here's the thing: I love Draisaitl, but if they want to really reload, he's the guy you can get a massive return for.
Right.
So unfortunately for Draisaitl, or maybe not unfortunately, I don't know if he likes Edmonton or not.
They would trade him. You're saying,
yeah, because you would get a full haul to surround McDavidson with.
Yeah,
and Chicago would be a hell of a landing spot for those guys. I mean, it would be good to see an organization like Chicago who hasn't really been through anything. Anyway,
you would get a full U-Haul for him, and for sure they would move him. Like if he didn't resign, like say at this time, they'd be trading him 100% somewhere. But who's to say you'd have to sign with that team? Anyways, folks, back to the game. We have 12-12 and counting. If you're following along, as Darren Radish goes back for the puck, makes a nice little slip play to Tyler Mott, who massages his way over the red line, passes it over to who is that? Tanner Janot. Tanner low and slow Janot. He's got a nice left. Shout out to a guy that throws both ways from Sask. You don't want to fuck with him.
Oh, I would be so scared when I'm playing a kid from Western Canada. They're just bigger than you, stronger than you. They have a gigantic Reggie Bush down there.
Yes, they don't shave.
No, those kids, when you're up against Western hockey Canada kid. Holy shit! As Esselman fucking tried.
That was almost rock star ball. Oh my god!
Where he was like,
he shot that from the valet booth.
He shot that from fucking row 6.
Oh my god! Anyway, he shot that from the coat check.
I remember playing kids from Western Canada. They got that farm strength, and you could see their pubes sticking out of their pants. That Reggie Bush was absolutely. We're gonna have a penalty here as Tanner Janot.
Yeah, you're going to the shower with them, and you can just see that George W. just it's like get the weed whacker out, fella. Get the Manscaped 4.0, no free ads, but holy shit. What was Isamount thinking of shooting that puck?
I guess he was trying to bank it off his shoulder there. I don't know.
Or was he playing post? Did they think they were playing post?
No, he might be on a little bit of acid, and maybe he saw something that we didn't see, a different dimension. As 44 wearing a neck guard out there. Who is that?
44. I'm not sure, but it's good to see.
Calvin DeHaan's number. Disrespectful.
I don't know who 44 is, but nice to see that he's supporting the cause and he's got the neck guard in. I honestly think, Rob, in all seriousness, that's probably the play these days. You never know, right?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, now, you know what I realize?
You can only tuck your chin so far. I mean, I just think there's so many ways where you can get cut with that blade, right? I don't think that's a bad play.
Yeah, I mean, you got to protect yourself. I don't even know how goalies don't have, like, the plastic hanging down anymore.
That is crazy, yeah.
Some goalies' necks are fully exposed. It's insane.
And they soak them there all the time. And the crazy thing is, like, they wear that cat eye mask too. And that cat eye, a puck can actually get in there and cut them in the eye.
Yeah,
because it's got that big of a hole in it. Anyways, Tampa Bay on the power play here, Rob. This is a lethal power play, as you know. I mean, arguably, 3 to 4 future Hall of Famers, depending on how you cut it up here. I mean, it's crazy. You got a guy like Braden Point who plays in the middle on the power play. And he's a 50-goal guy. I mean,
insane.
Most of the time those guys are on a flank. You're getting them a one-timer, but rarely do you see a guy playing in the middle of the ice in the bumper spot. Yes, he gets a lot of one-timers, and because Stamkos is able to distract a lot and pull that box over to the left side with Kucherov on the flank. But it's just crazy to see that a guy in the middle on a power play is a 50-goal guy. That's just insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. He's good at hockey. It's confirmed. 50 goals. Who do you think is going to get 50 this year? Do you think there's going to be a handful of guys, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think Nylander's got a chance in Toronto. I think Poppy, if he stays on, is going to get 60+. I think Pointer's got a chance to do it. Ovi seems like he's tailing off. He might be a 35 to 40 guy this year, especially just with their team.
20 empty nets.
Yeah, 20 empty nets. He'll get his cookies there. But yeah, I would say a few of those guys. I'm thinking out west. I thought McDavid would do it again, but maybe not. Maybe Draisaitl.
You never know with McStevens. He could turn it on, though.
The thing about those guys, I was just going to say, they could put 20 goals in 15 games.
Right.
Like, no big deal. Is if he starts feeling it, And he's playing a little hurt right now, and I think Drat might be even too. Those guys will figure it out.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. I mean,
got rid of, Wrenchcroft, too.
Yeah, Wrenchcroft.
Woody.
Here goes Foligno down the wall, and a 3-on-1. He's going to lose that puck, and
I think Foligno is such a sneaky pickup for them. I mean, even saw last game when they were playing in South Florida against the Panthers, like Tkachuk was trying to rough up Bedard, and Foligno goes right over there, and it's like, hey, buddy, fuck off.
Yeah.
If you want to throw both, let's do this right now. You're not touching our star.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he's there for. Frankie Vetrano, someone in the chat, that's a good point. I think he's the guy that's kind of hot and cold. I think he'll get his 35 or 40. I mean, that's unbelievable for a guy making about $3 million, especially in this market and Biden's economy.
He's going to have 40 goals and 10 assists, and I respect the hell out of that.
He's always up for the Cy Young every goddamn year. He's like a 30-5 guy.
Yeah.
Like he refuses to pass, and he's just going to absolutely trigger.
Right. He's got an absolute cannon, dude. Shout out to Zoomass Amherst.
Shout out to Nick Cannon. Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to Nick Cannon and all his baby mamas. That must be a little bit stressful as Hagel crosses the blue line over to Essamon. Essamon in the slot. Shoots and
Mikey
Furta. Good.
Mikey Essamon, man, I respect this guy's game. He grinded through the minors for like 4 or 5 years with the Ontario Reign. Never really got a shake in LA just because they had a lot of young prospects and he kind of got lost in the fold. He goes over to Winnipeg, gets picked up off of waivers, eventually to Tampa Bay, and he carved out a nice little role in playoffs last year, and now he's on a 2-year ticket, making $800,000 tax-free state, and it looks like he's really, inserted himself into this lineup. Clearly, playing on the power play number 2.
Yeah, I mean, as looks like Tanner Gigot is going to have a problem with Seth Jones. You're going to hope this isn't a racial thing, but it looks like Tanner Gigot and Jones have been going at it for quite a bit here.
He wants none of that.
Still barking on the bench. I think if you're Tampa here, you don't want to give up the first goal, and I don't want to be, Mr. Obvious, but they are struggling. They've had one shot on that power play, and Chicago, look at it. Chicago's got a packed house tonight, man. I mean, they're selling out the United Center.
It's the Madhouse, baby. It's back. That's what I said. I think they're 1 or 2 guys away. That's why I threw out that hypothetical. Like, if they can get that buzz back, Rob, have you been to a game there before? There's not many better barns in terms of atmosphere, especially with that national anthem and everyone's cheering, before the game. Jim Cornelison singing along to the national anthem. I mean, it's just electric, brother. We got to get to a game there.
I typically try to stay away from Chicago at nighttime, but if I am there, I would love to see a game there. I actually went and walked along that river,
Yeah, the old river walk.
Did a little bar hop on a Sunday. It was actually awesome. It was a good time. I didn't even know that they had that river flowing through the city there. It's real nice.
Yeah, nice little scenery. Bed Bath & Beyond, Home Depot. Maybe, I don't know if we have time, but yeah, that's a nice little city, the West Loop. But again, it does get a little sketchy there in terms of you might want to wear a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, so, gunshots here and there, but for the most part, I mean, there's a good seafood spot right on the water there in Chicago. And look, say what you want about Trump, but I stayed there. The guy can build a fucking hotel.
He's got a nice facility there, good steam room. You can get a tug. You need anything. Folks, let's go to the chat anyways. Get at us, ask us, chirp us, talk some shit. What do you got going on? Where are you watching from? Folks, we're in full gear tonight. I mean, and this is fight straps are on. My skates are on. I might even throw them in the oven and bake them again because these things are feeling fucking good. I feel like I come back and play 20 minutes in every league besides the NHL. So, folks, get at us, chirp us. What are you doing? How are you? What it is, what it isn't, baby.
Chat, where are you checking in from? And I'm surprised that I'm not overheating right now. Maybe it's because I'm so wet from all this gear and your girl. But
your girl, yeah. She's going down south Louisiana on you. Folks, what it is, what it isn't, baby. How you doing? Where you drinking from? Do we have any Chicago fans or anyone from the 305 or the Tampa Bay area checking in with a little bit of trim on their side?
Shout out to chicks from Tampa Bay. Oh, they're cool. They're crazy. They're a little crazy, but they're cool.
A lot of them have ankle bracelets on, and I really respect that. They have maybe 1 or 2 domestic cases on or pending, and I kind of love that because it keeps it on your toes, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're out on bail.
Right, and you always have a good lawyer on you. It's fine. Tampa Bay obviously needs their goalie back, Rob. They're playing this Jimmy Johansson or whoever this is,
Jimmy!
Actually, RIP to Jimmy Johansson. He was a good USA Hockey member. Lost him a few years ago. He used to put together the World Junior Teams World Championship. So that's on a serious note, folks. And also Jimmy Johnson, too, a old football coach for the – how about them Cowboys? Folks, if you're following along, we have 8:44 and counting. This game right now is 0-0. Being played at the Madhouse on Madison as Connor Bedard brings it over the center line. Cernak gathers it in front of his net and passes it out to Stamkos on the flank, and he is over the red line and, gets a little stung up there.
What if Stamkos went to Chicago?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Could you imagine?
What would you give him, a 2 or 3?
Oh!
My God, that was a little criminal.
Somebody hold the phone. We have a clean hit directly from behind. I don't even know who did that.
That was Philip Kurashev got absolutely buried from behind by Mikhail Sergachev. Oh, my God.
How did he
saw numbers and he sped up. Oh, my God. That was kind of filth.
You got to respect that when you just see a guy's numbers and you just blast him from behind, just to keep everyone honest,
It's like
Swish?
when you see it's like those old stop signs when you go up to play Canadian teams on the back of their jerseys. It's like, give me the red or give me the green or I'm running the red. This guy saw red and he sped up. Like that is such the danger zone. He ate.
Oh!
His head ate the Modelo sign. My God, get this guy a beer.
How do you get up?
Oh, those boards don't move either, brother.
Look at Surgeon Chef. Like, come on. Hit him from directly. Look at Bedard. What's Bedard going to do?
What's Bedard going to do, though? It's like, dude, go with caution there because that guy might just shed first, ask questions later. All right, well, it gets Bedard on the power play. He's using that Sherwood Twiggy with that Robert Lang sock tape job, which I love. Kurashev appears to be fine. He's got his chain out, Rob. I love that. Going chain out, iced out, no stylist.
You either drip or you're drowned, Swiss. So I respect that.
How does that come out of the zone there? Is it because they had third man in or their deep defense came in? How is that on the power play? Normally it's in the zone. It must be because they came in.
Yeah, I actually have no idea. But
anyways, we're back to the game here. Corey Perry over to Bedard.
Oh, Bedard on the doorstep.
That was a nice little shot tip right in front of the net. Corey Perry, headsy play from a veteran of over 1,200 games.
How is this kid 18 years old? I mean, he has really good poise, man. I think he is the real deal.
He is great. I question how he moves, as crazy as that sounds, to be really like a McDavid level. Oh my God, that was a nice play. But yeah, his shot's unbelievable. His release, fella, Chris Kyle,
shout out to Chris Kyle.
But yeah, he's fun to watch. What a sauce that was by Hagel.
Anthony Cirelli, Frank Serengeti. What a save by Mrazek on the break.
Frankie Saravelli, meatballs, Jonesy fella. As Seth Jones corrals a puck, dishes it back to Connor Bedard. He rounds the net and takes it over the blue line. Nice little kick-out play. Corey Perry, good patience on the wall to Kurashev. Oh, fella.
You just got to look. He had his head down. I think you just got to pick your head up there and just maybe be a little smarter, but I'm just a fat kid on the couch. So.
Right. I think he might still be seeing stars too, Rob, after he ate the Modelo sign, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, that was sick. Nice tip. Who was that, Kurashev, the guy that got hit? Or Reichel? Reichel, fella.
Kirby Reichel.
No
disrespect. No relation to Jack Eichel. Kurashev
somehow is still seeing straight. He did an impact test in 4 seconds. How do they not pull him off for a spotter?
I know, right?
He absolutely ate the boards there. That was hilarious. Not really that hilarious, but funny that he's back out there.
It makes you think, is CTE a myth? We'll find out. But good screen by the worm here in front.
Yeah, Corey Perry grabbing the eyes of Johansson. And just what a dish there by Kurashev. Textbook shot tip, Rob. Look at he looks one way, dishes the other. And a great tip by Reichel. That's a kid that spent time in Rockford last year, really proving himself and implementing into this Chicago lineup. He's a guy that's here to stay. First goal of the season. It only took about 12 or 13 games, but that buys you a few more weeks, at least in the National League.
I love that crispy pass, just right to the tape.
Rice.
Just,
spicy
just
tuna.
Full blown. Just give me the hamachi. I'll take the peppers on it, please. Thank you. With the sauce. With the clams from the PNW.
Yes, boots with the fur. How you doing?
Little Buck and Rider, $3 and oyster happy hour for everybody. And while you're at it, I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. While you're at it, give me an old fashioned.
Oh, old fashioned to the chin. Sergachev just blew up another guy. Yeah. Oh my God.
Dude, Tampa's got to be very frustrated. Look at the stat here. Outscored 10-0 over the last 3 games.
Yeah, they're struggling, man.
They're looking for a tuck here.
I just think, it's going to take them a little bit to find their game. Just so much hockey and a lot of turnover. Sneakily, a lot of turnover. They lose a guy like Zach Bogosian, too. I know he's not a pivotal player for them, but even just in the locker room, Bogue's a guy that's going to have beers on the road. He's going to organize team parties. That's a guy you really miss in a championship culture. So it'll be interesting to see. They have a lot of younger guys. And Rob, back to you, baby. We got 6:05 and playing as Braden Point tries to throw a little saucer pass into the middle, gets intercepted.
Oh, shout out to the chat. Somebody said Chicago could build a cup contender with all these players who haven't extended yet. Stammer, Nylander, Reinhart, Gensel, Bertuzzi. That's a really good point, man.
That's what I'm saying.
They have the opportunity right now to do something crazy.
And I just think it's such a city and a team and an organization. Original 6. You got the Windy City, the United Center, Madhouse on Madison.
Right. They cleared up the scandals now. Everything's good to go.
They're back in it, but it's just like you get Tyler Johnson off the books next year. You can move all these guys. Andreas Athanasiou, he'll come off the books in a couple years. There's a lot of money you can move out to get guys to come in, and it's just somewhere. Obviously, you want to play with a number 1 overall pick and a guy as exciting as Connor Bedard.
Right. Yeah. Look, I think I'm stuttering right now because I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I do hold it against Connor Bedard a little bit that he doesn't eat fast food, and I know he probably doesn't drink it. And when people don't drink and treat their body like a traveling carnival, I kind of hold it against him, right? I don't trust him. But with that being said, guys in the league, they don't care about that stuff. They want to win. They want to get paid, and you got to play with good players to get paid. You can't do it yourself sometimes. Not everybody's Mick Harley Davidson. You have to. The better players you play with, the more likely you're going to get paid, and life is all about money.
100%. And I just think, just going back to that organization, I want to touch on, because my brother did play there for 3 or 4 years, and he would always talk about just how well they got treated, Rob. Like that Wirtz family, they've really set that team up,
Right.
In 3 championships in 5 or 6 years helps that. But I just think the first class organization, how they treat their guys, the city, I mean, there's just so many different things, their tradition, why you wouldn't want to play there. I mean, for a guy like Nylander, his dad played there, so there's a little connection there. He lived there for 3 or 4 years.
Dude.
And played youth hockey there with my brother for the Chicago Mission. So it's like, if Toronto can't pay him, I think he's the guy that might be going there.
Yeah, and you know what? If we called that, somebody better come back to the stream and clip that, because
100%.
Yeah. But yeah, Chicago is a city. It's one of those sports cities. It's like the 4th biggest city in the States, and they have skyscrapers. So you can kind of live up high away from the gunshots and the stabbings, and you won't even know what's really happening. That's a good part about being rich in the National Hockey League. You kind of forget about the poor people.
Right. If you somehow have a family, like unlike us assholes sitting on a couch as middle-aged 30-year-olds, if you have a family, it's a nice place to be, right? You can get in the suburbs, you can get out of the mix, and you can still come into the rink every day, and they got a great practice facility. Their bird's nice. Everything's nice. And that logo, dude. I mean, I'm Lenny biased, but that Indian head,
great logo,
is top 1 for me.
It makes you think how we came over here and conquered this country. But shout out to CJ, who 2-pumped his girl so he wouldn't miss the stream. We love that.
Oh, my double pumper nickel, Rob. I always said 10 pumps is a kill. Anything less than that, it doesn't count.
Really? Yeah. In that case, I have no kills. In that case, I'm coming out live on the air. I'm gay. Anyway, back to the game here as Corey Perry skirts it on the wall. That's not even Corey Perry.
I wonder where, like a guy like Tyler Johnson, like I don't think they're going to re-sign him. I'm just curious, like where he would end up next year, in terms of where he fits in. Obviously, his number's going to come down from $5 million, but that's a guy that's a proven winner. I just think, he was another cap casualty in Tampa Bay, and he goes to Chicago, and you kind of you don't rot away, but you're not playing for that same level of, competitiveness and playing in the playoffs. I'm really interested to see where that guy ends up.
Me too. And I just want to touch on cap casualties for a second. I hate that. I hate the fact that you can draft a guy, develop a guy, and he plays well, like he does his job, right? And then he prices himself out and you can't re-sign him. I think the NHL should seriously, and they're not going to look into this because they don't look into anything. They should seriously consider a rule where there's some type of cap adjustment for a player that you developed and bred. To where if a guy priced himself out, but it's a guy that you drafted, you spent time developing him, he shouldn't count against the cap.
I agree.
Something like that. You know what I mean, Chad? What do you think about that?
You know how you make a great point, Rob, and I think as 2 experts over here sitting just crunching down numbers, like why isn't there a luxury tax, or why isn't there something like that where you can put a franchise tag on a guy? Like there's
2 experts crunching down numbers.
There should be something like that where, especially in Gary's cap era, like you have so many good players that are not in the league this year, and the league is actually not as good as it could be because you're holding out guys like Nick Ritchie, Phil Kessel. A lot of good players are not playing hockey right now because of this. So Gary, figure it out, man. Let the boys play. And as we go back to the game here, and we're going to talk a little bit on this game.
Hey, folks, the damn players, Gary.
Folks, if you're following along, we are 3:41 and counting as Eric Cernak goes back for the puck. Actually, Johansson plays it for him so he doesn't get killed by the streaking Corey Perry and Nick Foligno. Folks, we are 3:30 to go. 7-5 are the shots. Chicago up 1-0 early in this game. The final frame has 3 minutes to go. Stay with us. We'll get at you in the chat here at the intermission, but it's actually been an okay game so far. People are throwing the weight around. You can tell Tampa Bay's pissed off. They want to win this game. For a Thursday in Chicago, it's got some good steam here.
Yeah, you know what? I was surprised because I texted you today while I was driving, and I was like, we might need to flip over to Canucks Flames and watch that big boy Western Conference hockey. But I think the pace has been good. It's interesting to see Tampa kind of backs against the wall here. They're kind of against the ropes like right now. just like my wallet coming into the holidays. Like talk about,
Ooh,
we'll
on the
get into
chin.
that later. But
You got to get your girls something, your side piece.
oh
You're
my
going to Vegas
gosh,
again. I
it's
mean,
just my credit limit is just
we're
maxed
talking
out.
missionary. Yeah, you're gonna have to go get back on that blackjack table over that's talking stick, and hopefully you hit, brother.
But yeah, it's interesting to see Tampa Bay and what are they going to do from here? Are they going to fold? Like you're playing Nick Cousins on the plane and you know he's cheating, so you got to fold. Or what's going to happen here? And you know what? I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm kind of happy Chicago's up right now. It makes it a lot more interesting than Tampa being up.
Oh, 100%. And I just think that as this game goes along, I think Tampa's going to find their screws a little bit. I'm over here as a guy sitting on the couch with my cup on. I don't even know why I have a cup on, but you never know. I got my fight strap on. 2:30 and counting here, folks. It's actually been a really good game to start. Mikey ice him out, brings it over the line, and kind of cuts into the middle as Connor Murphy takes him out. That was a great play. Great defensive effort, a little push in the jerseys that always works. Get the guy off balance, and he usually goes down.
Someone in the chat brought up a good one. Another guy, like a cap casual, was Anthony Duclair. Like he played well enough to be a mainstay in Florida, and they just couldn't keep him. They just couldn't do it.
Yeah, now he's in Man Jose, and it's like he's just rotting away for a year, and now his number is going to go down because he's not going to have as good of year as he could on a team that's a winning team. And now he's looking at, he's making $3 million this year. Who knows if it stays at that? Maybe it goes down. Like, to me, he's a pivotal piece of a franchise. Like, that guy is fast. He's a great player. He can play third line, second line, left wing, an electric player. So Dookie, keep kicking, fella. I know times are tough in Man Jose, but get over to Santana Row, have a couple, maybe an Irish coffee, put it on the chin, fella.
As we have 1 minute and 37 remaining for everybody that's following us and following the game and watching this game in chat. Let us know. Are you watching this game with us? Are you just hanging out? Are you with a different Ryan Spinato?
My Ryan spin around.
I used to go to a place called Spinato's, and you would get a spaghetti and meatball calzone. It's about 7,000 calories, and basically they take a spaghetti and meatball dish, put it right in a calzone. It was unbelievable for a hangover, and then you would sit there and just fart the rest of the day.
Just fart and just not try to have a heart attack.
That's why
you just bury farts into your couch and just not try to have a heart attack.
Oh yeah, and I'm not worried. How am I worried about my homework due on Sunday night when I'm just trying not to have a heart attack?
Right, like I'm puking and farting at the same time. It can come out of any end. Like, this is disgusting, but I feel so good doing it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Clogging my arteries, and I love it. As Nick Prebix takes a shot. Oh, what a box out there by 41.
Phillips.
Who was that? That was a great box out. There was a doorstep chance there. Shout out to Steve Levy, by the way. I love him on the call. There's Thursday night football tonight, and obviously Leaves is a big football fan, but he's in Chicago. He's doing the game. So, folks, shout out to Levy. Oh, that was a nice little hit. 44 and 41, throwing the body around early. I love it. Man, now go back to that box out. That was a great play in front of the net there. I hope they show it. They probably won't, but Ray Chicken Parm Ferraro doing the color.
I'm Ray Ferraro. Somebody on Twitter asked, are we wearing a cup? Yes.
Folks, we're going to get to your questions at the break here, but keep firing away. We love it. Thank you for tuning in with us over here at Hockey Night in Scottsdale. Folks, there's 28 seconds and counting in the first frame as we are rounding the first period. We will get to you at the intermission as Nick Prebix goes back for a puck. A nice little one-touch play by Hedman, and they are out of the zone. That's why that guy's one on Norris. Nicky Ferda Paul brings it in and kind of just cuts to the net, and Pete Mrazek takes a little chin music.
Why is Murphy doing that?
Stamkos.
Stamkos didn't even do anything.
Well, he went at his chin a little bit there.
Did he?
Yeah, a little bit.
I must have missed it.
He kind of clipped him up high. I don't think it was intentional, but you got to get in there if you're Murphy, especially Murphy. He's always been a punching bag. Like he kind of thinks he's tough, but for a guy that's never fought, who am I really saying on the couch? But yeah. That's the right play by Murphy. He's got to get in there. He's got to do something, especially on his goalie.
I must have missed it. I didn't see Stamkos do anything.
Folks, thanks for tuning in. Again, we are at 11 seconds left, just under 11 and a hook of the first frame. We are going to go to intermission. We're going to take all of your questions. Thank you for tuning in to Hockey Night in Scottsdale. It is always a pleasure to be with you. Bob Gucci and Jay Swish, live from the couch. We are in full gear tonight, folks. I have the skates on. Gucci has the gloves on. Our fight straps are on. We're ready to throw both ways. Hell, Gucci, we might feel so good. We might throw the skate guards and go over to Dominic's and have a drink after this.
Ooh, you know what? I was actually thinking I wanted to grab dinner up here, but I have shorts. They're not going to let me in. I have fucking shorts and slides.
Yeah, they might not. That might be a Chipotle night. Go back over to Evo. Back over to Evo to see our bartender.
Fuck, dude.
Hey, bartender.
She got me absolutely wasted. I think she was trying to touch my butt. Anyway,
she was trying to pet your wrench. How crazy was she? She was talking about she was street racing in Chicago.
what
Anyways.
the fuck? She was filling the Jaeger bombs up to I didn't even know a meniscus can form on a cup like that. I mean, she was defying gravity. With those pokers.
Yeah, those literally had a nipple on them. That was insane.
All right, folks, we're gonna take it over to the chat here, and nobody has mentioned anything about our microphones. So I think we might have solved the issue, folks.
Yeah, we
have
might
been
have.
grinding through this, grinding on your girl like a middle school dance here,
Ooh,
and just grinding
little
away,
pretty Ricky grind on me.
grinding on your chick.
Remember how it just used to feel so good when you throw on a pair of Abercrombie jeans and you just grind. You get a little half wood, little Craig Woodcroft, little Jay Woodcroft. Ooh.
You're just grinding on a chick at the dance while the adult chaperone is jerking it in the corner, and it turns out the chaperone is your science teacher, and you're always wondering, why do these teachers chaperone? Well, it's because they like seeing little kids grind as we go to the chat here.
You're sitting over there and Mr. Austin is just reverse tugging his horn. He's going Oppo Taco and he's just tugging away. And it's like, dude, why do you keep going to the bathroom? Well, yeah, you're doing the old classic boner in the, just shoving it right down his shorts, then the waistband, right? The old flop up.
I mean, listen, you're around kids all day as a teacher. You might end up being attracted to them. Not me personally. I don't know what the hell their problem is, but
let's go to the chat, folks.
Let's go to the chat anyway. And thank you for respecting the sock tape. I appreciate that. Literally watching this on my laptop on a bike ride in Tim Hortons. I don't know exactly what that means, but I fucking love it.
That's so much respect. Shout out to Timmy Hortons. Shout out to Getting Drunk. Let's take some questions here.
Thank you, Jack Betts. We appreciate the hell out of that. This is the second most people we've ever had join the show. Obviously, we had local legend Paul Bissonnette join the show last week, which was awesome. And I'm sure he'll be back on soon. We got to text his ass.
Yeah, I would like to get Biz Nasty back. He's a busy man, as you know.
Very busy.
But another guy I would really like to zoom in or maybe even get on the couch would be Elliot Friedman. I'm going to attack that guy like an ex-girlfriend in the next couple of weeks here and just try to get him on. Maybe he sees something. Maybe you start going at him a little bit in his DMs. I think to the point where we might get a restraining order because we need the fridge on.
Yeah, we need Big Fridge on. I mean, friend of the show, absolute beauty. I've heard nothing about – I've actually heard nothing but great things about him. And also, he shouted us out on his podcast last week. He said the Heat Daddy guy – was doing a stream for the Sharks.
He did. Yeah.
So shout out to Big Fridge.
He was talking about that with Jeff Merrick.
Yeah, shout out to Jeff Merrick.
He's a beauty too.
Yeah, I don't know him, but he follows me.
Those guys are awesome. Yeah, those guys are really cool. Those are OGs of the game. Actually, they're nerds, but they're beauty nerds. You know what I mean? There's a difference there, Rob. So shout out to Fridge. Let's get to some callers here, Rob. Let's get to the chat.
Yeah.
What do we got? Kick us off.
Rob echoing a bit now. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Oh, you were on a bike ride and you stopped into Tim Hortons to watch this. Dude, I respect the hell out of that. Seriously, thank you. It's guys like you that make this possible,
100%.
We'd probably be doing it if no one was watching.
We would still be in full gear on a Thursday, sitting here like a couple assholes.
Yep. There's something cool about being in full gear as we get to the chat here. Favorite team to watch right now? Canucks are electric.
I think he's totally right with that. Did you see that OT winner last night? The way JT Miller sucked in three guys, he had all eyes on him, just sucking his nuts. And then all of a sudden, Quinn Hughes darts through the middle of the ice and then goes bunker, where grandma hides the oatmeal raisin cookies and a bag of Percocets.
There's something about
that was unbelievable.
Yeah, it really was a great play. There's something about sucking in guys and then dishing that puck to open space. And Quinn Hughes, man, I saw the replay. He let that puck rip to the point where what's his face didn't even really see it coming.
But he was in tight at the same time.
Right.
Like the goalie was on the paint, and he still in that moment, you think he would have deked.
Right.
It was either Grubauer or whoever.
No, it wasn't Grubauer. It was
the other guy, Decord. Yeah, Joey Dack. Shout out to ASU.
He didn't even know. Yeah, shout out to Joey Decord. He didn't even see the release coming. It was in the back of the net so fast. Like the goalie just went like this. He was like, "Oh, what the fuck was that?" But he put all of his strength. It's one of those shots that you shoot so hard you fart a little.
Ooh, yeah, you kind of queef a little bit. To me, he is the front runner for the Norris, and it's not even close. And that's crazy to say. If you could beat out a guy like Cale Makar for the Norris, imagine how good you have to be at hockey. Like, that's actually insane to think about.
Dude, you have to be so good.
Makar might be the best player in the league.
Yeah, he
and
might.
If you're beating him out for the Norris, that is insane.
Yeah, but I feel like it shouldn't really count because Makar and the Avalanche, they don't like eat carbs or sugar, and they're kind of taking it serious.
Yeah, they're kind of like a little bit nerdy.
Yeah, I feel
They like do it the right way. They actually like care about the game. That sucks.
Yeah, like they want to win again, which is weird because once you win once, like who wants to win again? You did it. Let's coast through the rest of my career.
Don't
But
be a psychopath.
anyway, yeah, I mean Quinn Hughes, that was absolutely electric, and what a pass by JT Miller, who just had like a simply safe camera in the back of his head to turn around and swing that puck tape to tape. Like I love that. But yeah, they are absolutely electric. Great question.
Let's get to another one here. What do we got? I'm seeing, would you rather have Tanev or Zadorov? For me, it depends on the makeup of your team. Obviously, Tanev, I believe, is a bona fide top 4 defenseman. I think he's a guy that is absolutely electric on the power play. He eats biscuits. I mean, this guy, he is just, to me, he's just like a human garbage disposal in terms of eating pucks on that, especially on the PK, the way he'll soak a puck. He's not as afraid to throw his chin in front of anything. He's pretty good as a puck mover. So I think if you're looking for a righty to solidify your top 4, you go for him. But Zadorov, man, on a playoff team, on a cup contender, the way he can throw his weight around, he actually sneakily has a good shot. He's a guy that could play number 5, and he imposes fear on your team. So if you're a team like the Leafs, who we talk about a lot, I think if you're picking one of the two, and you're Brad Trivling, that has a lot of prior knowledge working with him in Calgary, both those guys, I think you edge out or lean towards Zadorov because he's a guy that you need, and he's different than anything they have right now in their back end.
Yeah, I think I would go Zadorov just because he's big, he's mean, he hits hard. Shout out to Bo Bennett, friend of the show, said that he's never been hit harder by anybody than Zadorov. So
and when he's on the ice,
right?
You know what I mean, you're going to be the amount of fear he's going to impose on another team is greater than what Tanev brings. And I think a team like the Leafs would need that.
I'm also biased because Zadorov tossed me the follow on Twitter recently, so I will say Zadorov just for clout purposes. But let's get to the chat here again. I'm afraid to lean in because I don't want to echo.
Yeah, lean on me. What do you got here,
Lean
Rob?
back, Fat Joe. Shout out to Fat Joe, friend of the show. We're actually having him on next week.
What are we looking at here? Fellas, how are we feeling about Snoop giving up the sticky icky? Worst breakup of all time? Man, I was just talking about that with my buddies, Rob. Like, imagine, like, he's hanging up his bong. We touched on a little bit there, like, and the blunts. Like, is Snoop really going toke free? That kind of makes me feel like, or be worried for him. Like, is there a underlying health issue there? Or why is this guy hanging up the dro? Like the sticky, that's him.
It has to be something related to, now look, I am not a doctor. I'm a film major, but
you're like,
it has to be something related to inhaling all that smoke in his body. I feel like it's got to be medical. It's got to be
right, because you just don't hang up the lighter like that. The sativa. There's no way you just come on and be like, hey,
no,
I'm done smoking. So yeah, to an OG, I mean, we hope he's okay because I mean that guy was basically conceived, or born with a blunt in his mouth.
It's kind of funny that he smokes so much, and he's known for smoking so much that he had to make an announcement retiring. From smoking that sticky icky, which I respect the hell out of.
And it could be like a serious health issue. And I'm looking like at the comments on that Instagram post he posted, and Marshawn Lynch is like, April Fools. It's like, bro, like this guy could be like,
literally
not
November.
have any lungs left. Like,
that's what I think.
He's a goddamn chimney.
Yeah, I think that. But he could always do edibles.
You could always do edibles, or you could always do the drops, or you could switch to, cocaine, Percocets. There's a lot of different uppers and downers out there if you need to choose something else, right? You kind of just move on. Maybe he graduated from the dope. So we hope Snoop's okay because obviously
friend of the show
and a guy that I would have loved to blow him down with back in the day for sure.
Yeah.
Go back to the chat here. What do we got?
Thoughts on Emily Cap? I love Emily Kaplan. She's fucking awesome. I want to have her on the show too.
Are there any vets in the league still just boozing and messing around, or is everyone in the league now super dialed in? Great question from BP Jizzy, I think your name is.
Jizzy.
Little Jizzy. Dude, it's a dying breed. Like, Rob, when I first came up in the league, and even in the American Hockey League, the jungle, it's a little bit, more blue collar down there. It was beers after practice. It was, you get into a city on the road, you land, get off the bird, and it's right to the bar for at least one or two.
Go to a rub and tug, yeah.
Yeah, get a tug, get sawed off, and then go have some wine. But I don't know, man. Like, I'm sure there's still guys in the league that I know that still kind of run on that program. But, man, it's changed so much in the way that these guys train and take care of their body. Like, I don't know if you can run it that hard anymore because otherwise you're just kind of getting behind and you're kind of sticking out like a sore thumb. Like, it sucks to say that.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this. There's so much more knowledge about health and wellness these days.
Sucks.
So like back in the day, let's say, you have a practice and you go out for a couple beers after on a random Tuesday, right? You play Wednesday and you go out for a beer. You don't think anything of it. Now there's so much technology and all these guys on Instagram saying like, if you have 2 beers, that'll affect the rest of your week.
That's
right.
right.
So
You have all these biohackers out there. Like, there's so much information.
right. So now with all the technology that's out and everyone knows how bad everything is for you, guys coming up in the league do it less. So it sucks because it's really fun to drink. I mean, I think alcohol is really fun. I'm personally never going to stop, but
Is there anything better than partying, especially with the fellas and not talking to one chick at all?
just having a couple and you get that buzz that hits you and you're just like, oh,
Or get on the beer pong table. You're getting on the hardwood and you're throwing rocks. There's something about just looking a guy across on the other side of the 8-foot table saying, we're playing one-on-one beer pong until somebody pukes.
yeah, watch your elbows.
And that shout out to Kenny Agostino. You know Ego, right?
Yeah, I met him. I've been
Yeah.
in with you once. Yeah.
So I used to play with him in Toronto. He was the MVP in Chicago in the Jungle one year, and we played together in Toronto about 2 years later. And every Wednesday, Rob, in Toronto, because it was the Jungle was normally just a weekend league, and every Wednesday we would duke it out one-on-one beer pong. And it'd be real official rules. So it'd be 3 beers aside every game, and then OT was always 1 beer. So that series goes 6 or 7. You're walking out of that matinee. You could be anywhere from 18 to 25 beers deep.
Yeah, you're a little cocked.
And there's just something special about going one-on-one versus a guy and then shaking up after and then not remembering where you had lunch after.
Right.
It's a special kind of breed. I don't think any of that's going on anymore. That's probably why I'm sitting on the couch right now. But hey, I had a hell of a time doing it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, would you rather party and be on the couch in full gear commenting on the game, or would you rather still be getting paid to play hockey? I mean, it's a tough call, dude. It really is.
It really is. Yeah. But let's go to the chat here. Let's take a couple more, folks. I believe we have about 8 to 10 minutes left in this first intermission. Let's go to what do we got here? Would you rather this one's funny. Young Carter 899, Rob. He's asking, would you rather shower with your own dad or kiss your mom on the lips?
Well, I have a rule of thumb. I typically don't like to look at my dad's penis. But
his wrench.
yeah, what kind of kiss are we talking?
I don't know, because I've seen guys, especially Italian kids, that will kiss their mom and dad on the lips. I've always thought that was maybe a little offside, especially as a grown man. But you can do whatever you want.
Nothing wrong with being gay, but
I mean, I just don't think you should be tongue darting your mom, right?
Yeah, no,
I
I'd rather look at my dad's tiny penis than kiss my mom. Like if it was a crazy
that's
make out sesh.
Yeah, but even just one on the lips, I mean, that's a little weird. Cheek, okay. Forehead, I think still a little offside. I think you can get away with probably just a nice heartfelt hug at this point, right? We don't need to be going tongue darting. That's a tough one. I don't know if I'd want to see my dad's wrench, but I don't know if I want to kiss my mom. I guess I'm going wrench.
Yeah, because what happens if you kiss let's say hypothetically you kiss your mom, just like even on the lips, like a little peck. And what happens if you both like it? And then next thing you know, you're in a relationship with your own mom. I feel like that would be a weird scenario. So
now, you're explaining to your dad that I am now with my mom. Yeah, that's a different
you have
one.
to move out, and you have to tell your dad that he has to move out.
Right. Yeah, your dad. What do you mean you have to move out? I'm 34, Dad. Yeah, okay. You don't live here, Jordan. Yeah, I'm moving back in.
And we're gonna have a family. That's fucked. Shout out to the Coyotes. 1-1.
I'm gonna take this one here. BP Jizzy. What team in the league has the best facilities? Swish, like road, hotel, arena, ECT. In terms of home facilities, I'm probably gonna say the Edmonton Oilers. I'm going to say the Detroit Red Wings with their new Little Caesars Arena, Chicago, Fifth Third Bank Arena, their new practice facility is unbelievable. Seattle looks really nice. I have not been there. I was out of the league before they came back in. Vegas, really nice. So there's a lot of new barns that are doing it right. I'll tell you one that's not doing it right. Well, I don't want to bag on them, so I'm not going to say it actually. So I'm going to hold that one. But yeah, those are the nicer ones. Let's go to the next question here. Did we talk about Timmy Stützle batting that out of OT? Oh my god,
so sick!
Sick.
It's crazy because the defenseman made such a sick play. Like he had the on his stomach windmill to break up the pass, and it went in the air. And yeah, I mean that's as good as it's gonna get when it comes to like really hitting a base hit like Derek Jeter in his prime.
Oh my god, he laid that thing down the third baseline like Ichiro Suzuki back in the day, just like a little, half clap bunt. It was so sick.
And honestly, what the fuck was Reimer doing ducking? Like he faces.
Was he scared? Was he scared of the pill? I think he was like scared of the follow through. To be honest, I think it probably saw it out of the corner of his eye, and he saw the stick coming in,
Just
and
naturally
just kind of flinched because it was about yay high, right?
Yeah, it's just crazy though because it had to be a reactionary thing because like he's facing 90-mile-an-hour shots. He's not going to be afraid of it, something that's batted at him midair. But what a goal, what a finish, what a game for the global series over there in Sweden. Tomorrow we have the Leafs playing. Who the fuck are they playing again?
Well, who's all over there? It's Ottawa, Detroit, the Leafs, and
someone else. We're missing someone. Who does
Chats, who's all over there? We got three. We got three of the teams, right? That's pretty good for the boys over here. I wonder if those guys are going on in that city right now because Rob, that's another city someday that either Hockey Night and Scottsdale crew's got to get to, or even just we go over there and we tear it up because Stockholm, Sweden, fella. Oh my God!
Shout out to Avicii. I would love to go to Stockholm and just look at some chicks.
They have the best old fashions for whatever reasons. I don't know why.
Really?
The fashies in Stockholm, in the Nordics, they just hit different. They're a little sweeter. They're a little more crispy rice. I don't even know why, but man, they are great. Oh, that's what we're missing is the Mini. Forgot about Mini.
Minnesota's over there?
Yeah, that's right. Because I was talking to Patty Maroon the other day. I'm name dropping Patty Maroon. And I was also talking to the head athletic strength coach, who's a guy that went to North Dakota. Shout out to Maddie Harger. Those guys are tearing it up over there. Confirmed. That is per Darren Drager. Folks, a couple more questions here. Stay with us. Get at us. I believe there's about 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes left in this intermission. Chicago leading the Tampa Bay Lightning 1-0 after the first frame. Live from the Madhouse on Madison. Shout out to Darren Pang. I don't think he's working the game tonight, but an absolute beauty who kind of just outpriced himself in St. Louis, moved on to Chicago, and is doing well. So, Panger, I know you're not listening, but you are an absolute beauty.
Shout out to the chat for sticking around. This is by far the most people besides the Biz episode last week that we've had sticking around. So I'm getting ready to retweet everything. I'm not on my phone texting birds. I'm on my phone ready to retweet our links ready for the second period. And yeah, we have a great game going on right now too. I'm honestly, it's a pleasant surprise. I'm just going to read everyone through the scores. We have the Ravens up 7-3 against the Bengals. Who cares? But
7-3. Who's that? Bengals?
Yeah.
Okay, they're winning. Okay, Joey Burrow.
Golden Knights and Canadians 4-4 at the end of 2. Wow, that's one you don't see coming.
Okay. Yep.
Hold on. I just wanted to check on something.
Mike Coyle is asking, where is Biz? I believe, Biz he had a big week with a couple sandbaggers out in California. I don't know if he's working. I don't think TNT is going tonight, but he's probably getting his rest. We're going to have him hopefully back here in the next, maybe before the new year. But folks, we are also working on a couple big announcements. We're not going to get to them right now. I just want to throw out a couple teasers. We are looking to line up a few live shows.
Yep.
Coming to Canada, maybe the Rust Belt. So we are working through that. We want to get to the people. We want to get to the good people of Canada, Western Canada. Go up there, chop it up, drink with you guys. We always appreciate you tuning into Hockey Night in Scottsdale, live from the couch in beautiful, North Scottsdale, Arizona. Fully suited up tonight. We are ready to go. Low and slow as we're going back to coverage with Steve Levy with ESPN in the Windy City. 1-0. Chicago leads the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah.
The seconds away, Rob.
Yep, we're seconds away here. I'm going to tweet those links in just a second. But yeah, the live shows are going to be awesome. It's pretty much the same premise as this. And we go to the game. And after the game, we'll tell you where we're at. And we'll all fucking party together and have a couple drinks. And yeah, all right, I'm going to tweet it. Back for the second here. Hold on. Excuse me while I'm on my phone.
Bob Gucci is throwing out the link, folks. Tell your friends, tell your ex-wife, tell your mother that we are going live back for the second period. Chat, thank you for following along. Ask us some questions. I believe the first TV break is right around the 14-minute marker. That was always, give or take 13 or 14 minutes, at least when I was playing. So we'll have about 5-6 minutes here of some jam-packed action. Then we'll get back to you at the chat here. So got a good game here in Chicago, Rob. Live from the United Center, the Windy City, Thursday night. There's nothing better, I'm telling you right now, than Chicago, the West Loop. After the Hawks win, man, that city bumps.
Yep. And we heard the horn go off, and we're going to now post that we are back for the second period.
Back for the second here, folks, live with Ray Ferraro, Chicken Parm, and Steve Levy. But more importantly, Rob, the Heat Daddy Gucci, and your boy, Jay Swish, fully suited up here, folks. We are going live. Nick Foligno wins the board battle, sends it over to Philip Khrushchev, who kind of brings it right to the left dot in Tampa Bay zone. Mikhail Sugarchev gets the puck, brings it up the ice as he gets over the offensive blue line.
folks, if you're following along, 1941 and counting. Gucci, Tampa Bay's got to get going.
Yep, Tampa Bay does have to get going as the shot is blocked by Esteban by accident by his own guy, and just a hell of a veteran dump right there in the corner, right by the Magellan sign. And Braden Point's going to pick this up in the corner there, and I'm out of breath. Shout out to the guys that do this, like Kenny Albert. I'm Kenny Albert. I have a peanut butter in my mouth.
Kenny Albert, yeah, it's just that balance between like talking way too fast, but also not talking that fast, knowing when to slow it down. I've always admired those guys. So, folks, back to the action.
Kenny Albert can eat a good pussy too with the way he talks.
Yeah, he's got.
Ooh-wee.
I mean, he's playing the sixth string with that tongue. He's tickling the ivory. I would say. Victor Hedman just outmans the guy as they send it up to the left flank of the wall.
Tampa's coming out pretty hard here, folks. If you're following along with their 1853 mark, 1852 mark.
Yep, as Lucas Reichel sends it in to Johansson as he covers up the pill. Folks, 1846 shots, 11-7. I think counting that as a shot, the dump in, you got to love that.
Yep.
Great for the pad, the stats there. Emily Kaplan looking great tonight.
Looking like a snack.
Ooh, nice little snack up and close and personal. How are you, girl?
I might DM her tonight.
Yeah, see what she's doing.
Are you up as we have a draw in the...
Are you up? Yes, it's 2:42 p.m. on a Saturday. What are you doing?
Sometimes it's great to just text chicks or hit them up on Instagram and say, are you up?
I think that's
in the middle of the day.
I think that's the best line going. Are you up? Yes, I'm up, Jordan. I'm at work. Okay. What are you doing? You want to come over? No. Well, okay. Sounds good. I'm going to the next girl.
Want to come over. The fucking line is old as time.
The tale is old as time. Do you want to come over? Oh my God. Did Sorelli eat that rubber? My God. Like a stripper working at the Spearmint Rhino, just eating rubber. Jiminy Christmas. That's got to hurt.
This ain't no hobby. There's tons of rubber in my mouth. And
Soak City,
Sorelli is
Iowa.
Looking at, okay, he's all right.
I love Sorelli.
He's still hurting.
Sorelli's game, man.
I love him.
It's just such a coveted player. Like, he can play third line center and he's going to put up 40 points, but his analytical numbers defensively, his stick, like, it's just a guy that fucks and the guy you win with. What was this guy? Oh my God.
Just head down, full clap bomb right into him. Like, what was Kaiser thinking there?
Oh my Kaiser Island fella. His head was up too. He just thought he could get that thing through. Sorelli moves in the lane about 4 inches, but
Kaiser, no relation to Danny DeKaiser, but that was a men's league shit where you have the guys that wind up and just try to shoot through your whole body, but that was tough to watch.
The men's league, when they blame you for blocking the shot, it's like, dude, what are you talking about? You shot it right into me. Anyways, folks, Tampa Bay wins a faceoff. Hedman sends it over to Stamkos as he flips it out of the zone, and Nick Paul chases it down. Regained by Dickinson. Sends a little burger over the line. Seth Jones gathers it. Ooh, kind of loses it.
Chad, we're gonna get to your questions in a minute. Somebody said, who had the hottest sister out of all your teammates? We will get to that question.
Ooh, that's a good question. Now I'm gonna get spinning on that.
I have a good story about that too, not including me, of course, but somebody else.
Yeah. There's a couple nice sisters out there. It's always a little weird though, you know.
I have a billet story that involved a sister, and not involving me though.
We're talking 2 dragons. Corey Perry sends it to the front of the cage. Oh, Dickey.
Jones, throw it at the net. Throw it at the net, Jonesy. There's traffic.
Jonesy's massaging it. Looking for a lane. Sends it over to Dickey. Oh, Dickey. It was blocked in front by Austin Watson. Shout out to Austin Watson, man. I want to see that guy chug him. But it's amazing, Rob. Like, Tampa Bay always has guys that kind of fit the mold, and they always, like, replace them with a similar type player. So, Patty Maroon out. Austin Watson in. You know, it's always like guys. Nick Paul, kind of similar to like a Blake Coleman. As
good
Tyler
save.
Mott.
Mrazek has kind of been on the Craig Button tonight, and there's another save by Mrazek.
On the Benjamin Button, yeah, he's kicking a little bit. That was a nice little save on the stick side there from Pistol Pete Mrazek. Folks, if you're following along, 1651 and counting. Chicago leads the Tampa Bay Lightning 1-0 in the second frame.
There was a lot of chaos in front. I really didn't even know what to say there. Nick Paul does it all, trying to get Perry out of the crease, actually pushes him to the other side of the net.
Nick Logan Paul.
Nick Paul, no relation to Logan and Jake.
No.
Mrazek is absolutely dialed, man. I mean, look at him, finding the puck, seeing around guys.
He looks like he's, I mean, is he wearing a pair of knee sabers like those catchers used to wear? Because he looks lower than he normally plays. Pete, he must be feeling pretty good. He's a guy that's battled injuries. He's kind of been through the ringer, but when he's played, you know, over the years, he's a solid 1B type of goalie.
Yeah, I agree.
Pistol Pete Mrazek, a guy that's been in the league for a while now. Great face-off play by Chicago. Murphy brings it in and sends it below the goal line as Braden Point goes back for the puck. Nice little exit play. Cernak's just another one of those guys you just got to have your head on a goddamn swivel when he's out there. You never know. You just never know what he's going to do. He could put your chin 3 rows in the fucking glass.
A lot of block shots this period. Guys just getting in front of shots. Guys eating rubber.
Like Pointer's going to score here. Oh,
I don't think
Peter
you're
Mrazek.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, he just looks square to the puck tonight. I mean, it's going to take a 1T. It's going to take a nice seam pass to really beat him because anything square right now, he's seeing that rubber.
Yeah, it's going to take a dirty goal tonight. You're going to have to get down and dirty. I'm talking missionary.
Ooh.
I'm talking a penicillin shot the next day. I mean, you got to get guys in front of Mrazek. You got to back that ass up into him because if he's seeing it, it ain't going in.
No, that dirty Sanchez that requires a Z-Pack the following day.
Right. You're just that dirty night where you're, after the St. Patrick's Day parade, you're just sideways 69ing at 3 a.m. with somebody you've never even met. So it's going to be one of those nights here for Tampa Bay. And if I'm John Cooper, I'm telling him to stand in front of Mrazek and make this guy's life hell right now because it ain't going in if there's no screen.
No, you're going to have to find that hole, folks. As Darren Radish collects the puck at the right point, sends it to Peter Mrazek, and he makes a nice little pad save.
They're going to be a penalty. Good hit on Kaiser there. Whoever
that was a nice chin shot there. Remember, shout out to that guy in Chicago. Remember when the player went through the glass and he just took the helmet off of whoever it was?
Adam
and just
Hardy.
It was so sick.
Yeah.
It was so nails. We got a penalty here, Rob. I would say that when Tampa Bay, when clicking, I mean, arguably the most fun power play to watch. I know Vancouver's power play has been great this year. Toronto's always fun to watch. But
watch his hit.
Oh
That's a great hit by Janot.
Janot is nails, dude. Did you see him beat the bag off of that Wi-Fi kid to it like a week ago?
Yeah, I did.
Holy jumping. Yeah, he's a tough customer. We talked about him earlier, a good Sasky guy that throws both ways. But back to the power play here with Tampa Bay, Vicky, Sticky, Hedman, Pooch. I mean, these guys are just nasty. And you got Stammer sitting over there in his office. Stammer, he sneakily has, it's crazy to say sneaky, but he has over 1,000 points.
I know. It's insane. It's insane. Such an unbelievable player. The older I get, the more I realize guys with longevity, it's unbelievable. As a 2-on-1, they tripped over the blue line. Both of them as Nick Foligno gives up the puck to Hedman.
Foligno's he was shot out of a cannon there, and then you could just tell he's 35 and really slowed down. Nicky Paul, sneaky. They got him on a sneaky number there. I believe he's 3 and a hook for 7 years. I really like his game. Oh, nice play.
Oh,
just the tip. Is that? Just the tip.
Oh, my tip.
Oh, my Dave Tippett.
Sucking on a tip. That was just
Tipper Jones.
Talk about 2 goals in this game by 2 different teams, but scored the same way.
Yeah, and we were just we were talking about it. Anything square to Pete Mrazek wasn't going to beat him, but how do you stop that, dude? That was the skee ball machine, and you're going corner pocket with it. I mean, that was a crazy tip from a guy that has scored 50 goals before playing in the middle on the power play. And I guess, Rob, you've seen it firsthand why he plays there.
30.
I mean, he just took out the Texas wedge there. He kind of opened it up. Notice how he softened up his bottom hand and just found space. See the little, just soften it up and just kind of, turn that wedge over and just elevate it over his shoulder. What a crispy play.
Just the wedge salad from Dominic's. Maybe take out the blue cheese, put on some ranch a little bit.
Yeah, maybe a little French dressing on that because that was just dirty.
Just a little bit of pepper.
Yeah, a little pepper Brooks and a little
new room massage. Coarse pepper. You can go fine pepper. I love when they ask that at restaurants. They go, sir,
I'll have both.
I
hate this rule, especially.
Let the play be offside. Let the boys play.
Come on, guys.
I mean, you let Chicago have a all right, we're not going to talk about the scandal, but you let I didn't see it, Swish.
I didn't see it. I just always hate that unless it's a direct casualty of the play, right? It's a bang bang play and then they score it. Yes, you should be able to review it, but if it's 30 seconds after, I mean that's offside. That's any league, they say.
Yep.
I mean that's
off.
That's offside. I don't know.
You hate to see that be offside. It has nothing to do. Oh, I don't know. No, that's not possession.
He skated over before, but if it's not 10 to 15 seconds within the player has a direct effect on it. I mean, I guess it has direct effect.
No, but that's way before he pulls up, though.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I mean, it's 30 seconds before. I mean, there should be a shot clock on things like this, but it is 100% offside. Toronto's going to review it, and they're going to get it right. I mean, even Dave Jackson or Coho would know this one, right? That's no disrespect, but I mean, if you're having 10 drinks, you can see that.
Oh!
What?
Why? Because of possession?
Now they get the minor penalty. Wait, did they say because he had possession of it? Because you can skate over the blue line if you have possession, right?
Yeah, but you have to have possession of the puck. You hate to see a team like Chicago get screwed.
Oh my God, we're so dumb. I was like, yeah, that's confirmed.
Did he touch it? When does he touch it?
That's what
they're not showing the full play.
That's what I don't get about this because he touched it to himself, right?
Oh, he did? I didn't see that.
Yeah, but that was 4 strides before that, or 3,
Yeah, but they on the replay they weren't showing that.
No, they weren't.
They were showing.
Folks, if you're following along,
Chicago gets screwed like that. I mean,
Chicago gets fucked there.
Yep.
Yeah, Chicago tries. Luke Richardson tries for the challenge. Shoves it right back up their hoop. Dave Jackson agrees. Good call on the ice. Folks, if you're following along, we have 14:53 and counting. And Tampa Bay assessed another power play because Chicago challenged it and was unsuccessful and was, penalized with another minor penalty for a unsuccessful challenge. Rob, over to you.
Yeah, and we'll get to those comments at the commercial break here. Stamkos snaps it over to Kucherov, who snaps it through Kucherov, and this power play is very fun. This power play is just so good. Oh, that's a high stick. Call it.
Similar to Washington back in the day, Rob, a little bit this year, but they don't have Backstrom anymore. It's just like Kucherov commands so much attention over there. Oh, nice stuff play there by 58.
Stuff that thing in.
Oh, my stuff.
Just
chicken.
Stuff it in.
Turkey inside of the duck, inside of the chicken. Folks, that's a full turducken stuff. But yeah, just that first power play, Rob, it just reminds me a lot of Washington when they were, in flow state in their prime, because you have Backstrom, who's like Kucherov on the wall. You have Oshie in the middle, who's scored 30 goals. And you obviously have the big bomb, Stamkos or Ovechkin. I think that's just, they're mirroring it so well. That 1-3-1 power play is just deadly.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to stop. I mean, at the end of the day, you just got to stay out of the box, except for, I love being in the box, but you have to stay outside the box.
Yeah, stay outside of the box until you really need to be in the box, right?
Yeah.
This is a pretty funny second power play.
Pretty good kill.
Yeah, pretty good kill. I mean, the ball don't lie. You'd like to think they'd kill that off, trying to go for the old challenge play there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough challenge. I mean, if you're Chicago, though, you have to know if he touched the puck going in. That's
the crazy thing is a lot of that onus always comes on the video coach because he's the guy back there cutting it up. He can get all the angles. He's usually got about 4 or 5 different laptops. He's got, probably a MacBook, something, a TV screen, and then he's got an iPad. It's like he has to make that split-second decision to tell in the coach's ear, like, hey, we should challenge this. And a lot of times, those guys are right, but they can't feel great about, an unsuccessful effort, right?
Yeah. Okay, folks, we're going to take it over to the chat.
Folks, let's take a couple questions here at the first, TV timeout and commercial break of the second frame here, live from Chicago. We have 1-1 at the Madhouse in Madison. Rob, what do we got?
Thoughts on Jack Campbell giving up 5 in the jungle last night?
I just hate to beg on a goalie because goalie is so much different than player. And I've seen some of these goals that are going in on Soupy Campbell. And yes, he's probably not in the right mental state to be down in the jungle. You could tell by his interview after and some of the quotes, he said he was surprised by the demotion and having to go find his game. I just feel, man, he's not in a great space mentally. He's not. And hopefully he can find his game, get back to the Soupy Campbell he can be, because he's always been, through his time in pro, a guy that rides really hot or really cold. I mean, he's a guy that was a 10th overall pick, World Junior legend, went down to the East Coast League, had to find his game, actually almost quit hockey and was training to become a Navy SEAL or thinking about it, then found his game, went to Ontario, was an all-star, and then signed that 5x5. So, Rob, you just hope a guy, especially a goalie, man, it's a lonely feeling back there, brother, when it's going back.
Yep. Next question. Switch. Thoughts on the only NHL home practice facility you had was in a dead outlet mall?
Yeah, that was hilarious. Now, St. Louis back in the day, they have a nice facility now in Creve Coeur or somewhere around that neck of the woods. But they used to be at this outlet mall that was like 45 minutes outside the city. And there was not a single store that was still open when the boys would. It was like basically like a Call of Duty map.
Holy shit.
It was insane. So you could go out in the mall, through the practice facility, and there'd be not one store. It'd be boarded up stores. And it was just the weirdest vibe ever. every year you go to prospect camp, another store would close, and then 3 would close. So it was hilarious that like they hung on to that for so long in this mall. It was just like an abandoned mall.
Look at this guy goofing around behind the thing.
Yeah, he's just pickled.
Look at him. He's like scowling. Like, folks, how many of you guys are tuned in and watching this game with us? You guys watching different?
Dude, we need Hockey Night in Scottsdale jerseys. That's actually a good point.
Yo, my boy Kyle says Tampa is winning the cup. Tell him he's gay. Look, I always say this. If you have a dildo plastered on your shower tile and sometimes you suck on it, that would be gay. I don't think thinking the Tampa Bay Lightning will win is gay, but I also hate your buddy now. I actually hate him because
I mean, as they say in Tropic
hockey.
As they say in Tropic Thunder, Rob, everybody's gay once in a while, right? It's Hollywood.
Yep.
Just never go full retard. I don't like the word retard, but never go full retard.
You
That's
never
what they
want
say.
to do that. As Kucherov has the puck near the Honda sign, throws it up to.
What do you think a guy like Kucherov's heart rate is at when he's playing the game of hockey? Like mine was
30.
always through the roof. This guy literally operates like a young Lance Armstrong doping. Like he's at like 30, like you said. It's
I
crazy.
feel like he's never skating.
No, and it's just
Like,
it's crazy how a guy can play that sick in the National Hockey League and he never really has to move. That's how you know he's that good.
yeah, I don't get it.
Like a lot of these guys, you go out there for like 10 seconds, you just blow your load, and then you have to get off the ice. Like I think, could play for 4 minutes just the way he plays. It's unbelievable. He's never really moving. And that's such a skill. And longevity-wise over a season, if you're never really exerting your body like that, man, what I would pay to be like that. I would maybe suck a wrench.
We had this game slow down a little bit, Swish. Just kind of a back and forth. They're not really snapping it around right now.
No, the second period has been a little sleepy Joe, but we're going to get back at it here as Austin Watson finishes Kaiser into the boards along the end wall behind the net in the trapezoid. I would love for this game to open up a little bit, but Bedard get a little bit of space.
There we go.
I want to see this release come into effect here.
Right.
You know,
I would love to see this game get a little bit bedarded as the big boys are crowded along the wall.
So a team like Chicago, like, you know, you want to build for the future, but you also at the end of the day, you probably want like a top 5 pick, right? Like someone you can insert in the lineup, whether it's a defenseman or another forward to play with Bedard.
Yeah.
You know, what is their overall makeup? Like Man Jose, to me, they got to be tanking for this Macklin Celebrini kid out of Boston University. Like he is that good.
Is he really?
He's 17 years old. He has 19 points in 8 games, Rob.
Holy shit.
That's insane to think about college hockey.
True freshman, obviously.
Well, he accelerated
17,
to school. Yeah, so he's a year. He should be a senior this year.
Damn, dude. Imagine just getting 19 points in 8 games in college, just whacking babes all day. As here's a dump by
Does BU have babes?
I don't know. I think Boston in general does, but I'm not sure about the actual
I don't
school.
know much a lot about
Boston's got some
Boston.
good-looking ladies around.
Good skunks.
Yeah. Decent trim. As I think this is going to go for
Who would you say has better trim? I mean, per capita, we're talking because New York City is so much bigger. But like, if you're going to school, you know, is Boston or like the New York area, like what's better trim?
Oh, New York.
Yeah,
it doesn't
sure,
get better
right?
in New York. If you listen, sometimes if you walk down Park Ave in the Upper East Side of Manhattan, dude, your pants are going to be barking. I mean, you are going to be full. You're going to be. Oh, you're going to be Bob Barker, full-blown tent. I'm talking outdoor store, Bass Pro Shops kind of tent pitched. The women in Manhattan are just, you know, you look at them and they're just so horny, Swish.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, they're all goofed up on Mountain Dew, ready to go, tell you when. So, folks, anyways, 11:20 if you're following along with us. We're in the second period, live from Scottsdale, Arizona, watching the Blackhawks take on the Tampa Bay Lightning from the Madhouse on Madison as Nick Paul gets a shot blocked. Nice little play there. I would like to see Tampa Bay just get on the board, just get their team going a little bit. I just think they're trying to work themselves out of a spot, and there you go. As we always talk about,
there it
say
is.
something and it happens.
But you have traffic in front. You have 2 guys in front, one skating all the way across Mrazek's line of sight.
What do they always say, Rob? Pucks on net, you know? Bodies to the net, pucks on net. Did Stamkos, he kind of sellied like he got a piece of that, or was he the one that made the pass to Sergachev? I couldn't really tell because we were talking, and I honestly wasn't really watching. But what happened here?
I don't know. Let's get a look here.
So it misses the net, wraps around. The old classic, just dick beat it around the yellow. Okay, Stamkos, nice slip play to point. That was so sick. Does he get a piece of that?
Yeah, I think he does.
Because he sellied like he did. I was wondering if he did or not. That might be Stamkos' goal.
Oh, what a great hit right there. Connor Murphy, your boy. That was a great hit. And here's a scrum after a clean hit.
God,
They're going to
I love
go.
that.
They're going to go here.
Is that ice amount going? I was going to say, buddy, don't. Oh, my God. Mikey, see, that's
A little bit of jiu-jitsu.
Oh, my God. Late night jiu-jitsu with your Papa John's delivery driver.
And they're still going after it. There's some bad blood here. It's Connor Murphy turtles.
That's always just such a good sign of a good veteran team, though. You just auto shed. Like ice amount, I mean, he's giving up 5 or 6 inches there and probably 60 pounds. The guy's small. He's like 5'9". And he goes right in there. He tries to chuck.
Yeah, I mean, I tweeted this the other day. I don't know how I feel about it happening all the time. It's a lot, but I mean, this is a hell of a hit by Connor Murphy.
I got to see this hit.
I mean, he staples him like a homework packet.
Tim Stapleton. Let's check this out.
Staples Center.
That was easy.
But let's take a look at what happened here. If they're going to show the replays. Replay is brought to you by Bob's Furniture.
I just always think a close team is always just auto shed, throw first, ask questions later. Oh, my God, Tyler Mott, how you doing? Puts him into the end wall over there. I mean,
it wasn't as bad as it looks live, honestly.
No, I mean, but it'll slow down a little bit too, right?
Punching him in the back of the neck.
I mean, Mikey Iceman, all credit to him. Like you were saying, though, is that a play you really have to fight on? No, but if he doesn't do something, you might get called out in video the next day. It's like, why aren't we sticking up for our team? It's such a fine line. And you have to make a split-second decision. And I think close teams, they will always answer the bell, whether it's, right or wrong. Folks, keep asking us questions. I believe the next little break in the commercial break, I always think it comes at about the 7-minute marker. That was, is always 14-7 and then under 5. So get at us, chirp at us, whatever you want.
Who got hit?
Where are you watching from? That was Tyler Mott, former Chicago Blackhawk, actually teammates with the Murph Dogs. So a little friendly fire there, putting him into the wall. I respect that. Playing hard, boys. It's November, but these games matter, and it's the National Hockey League. So somehow Chicago gets a power play out of this. Tampa Bay gets the instigator, ice him out. Well, he kind of went auto shed Jones there. So a good look here at Bedard. I would like to see him get that release going on the left flank, Rob.
Yep.
Jonesy's got to move the puck fast. He kind of massages it up there. So get the puck to 98. Let's go from there, boys. The drop breakout, a tale as old as time.
I mean, big moment for Chicago here. You tie this thing up. I mean, you're looking at a playoff run here.
Oh, yeah. A little stick through
Bedard,
body.
look at that entry.
Do you like the number 98, Rob? Like, do you like, do you like that number?
I'm indifferent. I think I like 97 better.
JR.
But I'm
sick. How sick is JR?
Oh,
my
Bedard,
pizza.
no. This isn't
Tyler Mott back out there after he got plastered in the wall. Yeah, I would agree. What the fuck was that?
What the fuck?
Was that a slew foot in the middle of the zone?
It was accidental, but he went flying.
How sick of a play was that by Corey Perry, who can barely skate anymore? He gets to the rink in a wheelchair that's motorized and just makes a nice little dipsy-do right around Hedman. That was sick.
Oh, my God. Is Bedard okay? He kind of –
I don't know.
Here he goes.
The one thing I do respect about Bedard is he rocks that visor tilt, Rob. Like, I was always a guy that cocked that thing up to the roof.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah. I wanted nothing to do with the visor. If I could have played with nothing, I would have.
Oh, they don't let you over there?
No, they don't. I mean, even when I was coming in the league, you had to be grandfathered in before 2013.
Really?
Yeah.
That was that long ago? Wow.
Yeah.
Bedard falling down again. Is that Bedard that fell down over there?
Yeah,
You might need to go to the green, the blue tent, the dark room.
But this is literally how I'd rock my visor.
That's fucking nails, though.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't the smartest thing, but I didn't like any piece of plastic getting in the way of my vision. I needed to be able to go Zubov vision.
Yeah, you need to see out there.
Yeah, you need to see the ball. Folks, as we are 9 minutes and counting, as Chicago's just finishing up on this, rather lackadaisical, anticlimactic power play. Not a whole lot going on besides a couple chances for Tampa Bay, honestly. Sergachev is so good. I love his game.
Yeah,
just
he's
a big
nasty.
Russian bull back there. What a trade they got him from Montreal back in the day there.
Yeah, he is sick.
Little sauce. Love when you see a little sauce.
Little unnecessary sauces to get the boys going.
Yeah, little pizza straight out of the pizza oven.
You ever get chirped at in practice for throwing unnecessary sauce?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I used to go no tape on my blade, and strictly saucer passes some practices, just because I just wanted to work on my hands.
Mm.
You know, you got to change it up. It's a long season, right?
Right. Yeah. You
know,
can't
you got-
just be doing the same
You
thing.
got to show the coaches too, like, fella, I got some mitts out here. You know,
Right.
I'm not going to play any defense, but as a defenseman, but I got some mitts. You know, like, come on, guy, come on.
Let me fucking check a couple pizzas. We're gonna
Yeah.
go to the chat here.
Let's go to the chat, folks, as ESPN's going to a studio update live from Scottsdale, Arizona. What do you got for us, Rob? Let's take a few questions here. Nick Cronwell had the coolest visor tilt. Yeah, that was all-time tilt. Man, you just got to respect tilt.
Oh.
Like, it's just so sick.
I thought they were going to the commercial break. It's a trip. Nope.
Eli, I want to answer that question after we go to the break here. That's a hilarious point, bro. I've tried it all, dude. Dickey bringing it over the net. That's a random pickup they took over from Vancouver, that Dickinson. He's not a bad little player. I played against him in the minors coming up with Texas's system with the Stars over in Austin. He's a fast little guy. It'd be interesting to see how he played on a good team as Braden Point kind of loses the handle on it. But Bedard throwing the weight around.
Throwing the
Dougie
body a
weight.
little bit.
Yeah,
Love
like
to see that. And if you're Chicago here, you're going to need more than 11 shots. Let's get pucks on net here, Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, let's spice it up a little bit. They're kind of letting the game slip away. I'm not going to lie. Tampa Bay goes up 3-1. There's a slim chance you're going to win this game. So I think
yeah,
here we go.
Johnny Slim Jim. I mean, they got to get something going, Rob. You're so right, because this second period, they have not shown anything.
No
signs of life. It's like they went back to the locker room like, all right, this has been a great first. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
like
just going to shut it down.
Yeah, they're letting the game slip away. And I'm getting pretty pissed off. They're in this game. They call a timeout. Get pissed. Luke Richardson needs to tell these guys, we're letting the game slip away. This is bullshit. And Mrazek's standing on his fucking head back there.
Yeah, let's go to the chat here, folks. What do you got for us? Keep plugging away. Ask us anything. This has been an okay game to start. Hopefully Bedard can get going. Tampa Bay looks like they're finding a little bit of steam here and kind of finding their game. So about 7 minutes and counting in the second frame. What do we got here?
Do you have a question from Eli that you wanted to answer?
Yeah, Eli, Honky, Swish. Which press box had the best food? That is so funny because I sat in a lot of them. I sat in every single press box. Honestly, I wasn't a huge press meal guy. I would usually go eat before the game somewhere, depending on the road, go get a nice meal, feel good about yourself. Usually the aces or the scratches will go grab a meal right around 4:00 and then head to the rink about 6:30 and then go sit in the box. A lot of guys didn't like to sit in the press box, Rob. They like to watch the game in the locker room with like a couple of the trainers. But I was always the guy that wanted to go throw the Windsor on, go see the press. Yeah, you're scratched again. Yeah, buddy. Okay, stay with it. I like to watch the game, actually. So I was usually just like a popcorn guy. Maybe, grab some. They always had peanuts out there. They had, grab a water. They had Diet Coke. Just anything that could basically get you fat. But I would grab a little popcorn, enjoy the game, because at the end of the day, it's National Hockey League. So somewhere I really liked watching a game was a Saddle Dome, though. Because it's such an old, shitty barn, and that's no disrespect to Calgary. We're actually hoping to get up there. But their press box was like a catwalk. So you'd be like on top of the arena, like 300 feet above the ground, sitting like right on line with like the middle of the ice.
Jesus.
It was actually scary.
Jeez.
It was like you have to go through the catwalk to get there. So that was always a place I loved watching the game up there. It was very unique.
Oh, we do have new comments, but we're about to be back in the action here. Chicago power play is worse than drinking with my uncle. Yeah, these days, at these day and age, our uncles are all kind of fucked up in the head. They're all screwed up. But Rob, are you rocking T-blades? Absolutely not. I don't like them. I did. Shout out to Dennis Seidenberg on the Bruins, but I could not pull those off. Yeah, I was also scratching the at you, dude, because I had a drinking problem. What's the worst food you ever ate before playing a game Switch?
Ooh, you know what? A couple times in the American Hockey League, you would just get this shitty ass pasta at some fucking 2-diamond hotel. And I would, about game 50 to 60, I'd have to change it up. And a lot of times there wasn't a whole lot of options around there. So I would go to like Subway and get like a 12-inch cold cut, 12-inch like chicken bacon ranch. And I would just feel fucking awful.
Oh my God.
But I would always wash it down with one of those white macadamia nut cookies. And I would be like borderline puking on the bench, especially if it was a game I had to play a lot of minutes. But I always regretted that when I would have to, mix up the mystery meat from the hotel pregame meal and venture off to like a Subway and then I would double regret it. So that was always a mistake. But hey, when in the jungle, baby, it ain't perfect.
And Subway's mystery meat itself, too. Like, that is barely even food. I mean, the bread was deemed not even bread because of how much sugar is in it.
Right. I always used to say, like, what was our slogan? Eat fresh. But I always be like, Subway, eat fresh, booze hard, because that shit was just disgusting. You'd have to booze after just to wash it away.
I mean, you can't really expect a good sandwich when their spokesman is diddling kids all day. As their shot missed the net wide by Blackhawks.
He was fondling them. Yeah, he was fondling them like Elton John playing the keys. Folks, 6 minutes left in the game here. 6 minutes, left in the second frame. As Reichel makes a nice little slip play, gets into the inside and kind of just dumps it in where nobody could find it.
What the fuck is that?
What was that? Oh. Phillips goes back to the puck, rounds it over to the young defenseman, number 72. Forget his name on Chicago. Reichel kind of buzzing tonight. He looks like one of the only guys on Chicago that has his legs, especially in the second period. Be interesting to see how Chicago can kind of close out this period, Rob, and get into the third, because right now, man.
Yeah, they look like shit.
They took an Ambien. I mean, they don't look good. Luke Richardson can't be happy with this second period effort. They haven't really had anything going in terms of the whole frame here.
I mean, the crowd is totally out of it. I mean, the crowd is out of it. And in my opinion, it's Thursday night. You're in Chicago. Like, let's get the weekend starts on Thursdays. I mean, let's get the boys going here, like get a chant going, get something fucking going. And it's just dead quiet. And I think it's affecting the team's performance,
I think so.
Fans right now.
You're 100% right. And like you saw, even after that Connor Murphy, little tilt there, he tried to get the boys going with a nice hit. They take an instigator penalty in terms of Tampa Bay. They get the power play out of that, and they didn't respond at all. Tampa Bay actually had 2 grade A's in terms of Mott, and as well, I forget the right-hander that came down and wired one wide, but they didn't get anything going. Honestly, they lost a little momentum on a power play where they should have gained momentum. So it's not perfect here in the Windy City in terms of the Indian Head, but let's see if they can find it.
Coyotes get another win tonight.
Oh, yeah. Did I want to Nikki or Kel score? I have to check. Chat.
Hayton, Cooley, and Krause.
Okay. Chat, did Nick Schmaltz 8 have any points tonight for the Coyotes? Let me know. I was checking in on
See, if you're
Nicky
Seth Jones, you got to get that in.
Yeah, you got to make a better play than that. You're making 9 in a hook. I just think, I don't know. Would you be able to move Jones out? Jones, Drew, Maurice, Jones, Seth, Jones, Drew.
Who would take that contract?
I'm thinking about maybe have to eat a little bit, right? You chew on 25, 30% of that and bite it down to about $6 million. And then could you, but then do you want to eat space, right? You're getting another guy that's making $6 million, but it's really like he's making $9 million because you got that Jones dead money.
A little bit of 6 and a little bit of 9.
69. No
340 remaining.
Yep, 340 and counting here, folks, as well. The third line for the Chicago Blackhawks comes over the boards at Entwistle, Donato. The only guy I really have seen, again, I'm going to say it, that has legs tonight for the Blackhawks has been that Lucas Reichel.
Yeah, the second period has sucked. I mean, there's no beating around the bush here.
No.
I mean, the second period has been total.
Can't beat around the Reggie.
Yep. First period was great. I mean, right now it's just I'm bored. I'm looking at the advertisements on the boards here, and what the hell happened here? Cernak and somebody having a discussion over there.
No points for Nicky Schmaltz. Okay. He's kind of on a little bit of a cold streak. He might have to drink tonight. They're on an 11-day road trip. They were in Nashville, then they went down to Dallas and then Columbus. And I believe they're ending that in Winnipeg on Saturday night. So Nicky, maybe get to Earl's on Main, fella. Go have a couple beers, a kokanee, and go a long way. Maybe a stiff whiskey. Get on that, that res water, as I like to call it.
Question from the chat. What was your favorite drink to indulge in after a win?
After a win, Rob, I would always go, I would probably start with tequila, right? Just to prove an upper, get your body going, have 2 or 3 of those, and then just kind of ride out the margaritas. But if it was cold in the dead of the winter and you were playing somewhere north, I always like getting on the whiskey. Have a couple old fashions. Maybe say something you shouldn't, because the whiskey, the brown will always put you down and it always hits a little different.
Yep.
For some reason,
goes for anything that's brown.
It just gets you a little more angry.
You're
like, I don't know why I'm angry. Well, you're on the whiskey. You want to throw both ways. You want to do something crazy. So I'd always say if it was the dead of the winter, after a nice win or loss, a nice stiff whiskey could go a long ways.
Rob, talk about the Hood Rat grilled cheese. That video will be out tomorrow. Swish. We already talked about that. Oh, what was your go-to win after a loss? Go-to drink after a loss?
Oh, after a loss, yeah. I mean, fuck. I remember one night in Rockford playing in the jungle. I was -5. career high in minuses. And I had to go right back to the bus, and there was beers on there. Thank our good captain at the time, veteran of 400 games, Chris Butler. And I just looked at him and I said, "Holy fuck, fella, I need something." And he had. I think I did it. I might have pulled, about an 8-second gulper out of his whiskey. Then I got on the beer. Then I got on the wine. So after that, it was just cowboy, take me away.
Yeah.
It was anything. Right? It was just, let me get fucking pinned and try to forget about this.
Yeah.
You got an edible? I'll take an edible too. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Who's got an edible? Hell, slide me one.
So at that point in night, you're just putting anything in your mouth.
Yeah, you just want to forget about that one. God damn it, that one still stings. -5 in Rockford.
What was your guys' holy grail? What was your guys' grail twig when you were a kid?
I would say for me, the yellow Synergy was just a thing of beauty. I really like that. I really like that Vapor 20. You remember the Vapor 20 was a black stick with the silver X's on it?
Yep.
I loved that stick. That thing had so much pop. I was an Easton guy until Bauer started coming out with those sticks, and I really liked the Bauer twigs.
Yeah. I was a TPS response guy.
Ooh.
I had TPS gloves, the TPS response stick that was red, and I actually switched over to Easton. I ended up using the S17, the S19. So I was Easton for a while, and then the blades on those suck. The S17 blade, you catch one hard pass, it's all crisp, crinkly.
Yeah, they had that weird foam in it. Remember?
Yeah. After one game. So I switched to Bauer after that. I was Bauer for a while. I still use Bauer because Bo Bennett, nice as he is, gave me like 7 twigs. So he set me up for a while. So 256 remaining in the second period here.
Yeah, 250 and counting as Mikhail Sergachev sends it over the Chicago blue line. Seth Jones goes back for the puck, loses a battle to Braden Point, who gets mustered off on the end wall by, I believe that was Nick Foligno, the veteran of almost 800 or 900 games. I believe he's actually coming up on 1,000. Sorry to quote you wrong there, Nick. I believe you're almost at the silver stick, fella.
That's crazy, dude. And 1,000 games.
Like, think about
putting on your skates 1,000 times.
Think about things you've done over 1,000 times. Well, yeah, you've gotten drunk over 1,000 times.
Yeah.
What else have you done over 1,000 times besides wake up? It's a crazy stat, a crazy feat to get to. So tip of the cap, pour a whiskey out for Nicky Foligno once he hits that 1,000 game. I mean, just imagine having that silver stick, bringing it to the bar, having it in your just in your closet. It's so National League. I feel like everyone's hitting 1,000 games these days, the way these guys take care of themselves. So,
I know, right?
Like if you got the 500, that was great.
Yeah. But
folks, 215 and counting as the guy we talked about earlier in the show that has a goal this game, Lucas Reichel is buzzing, scored his first of the year. He's one of the only guys in Chicago that kind of looks like he has a little 22 jump streak tonight, if you will.
I mean, there's nothing going on. Honestly, it's putting me to sleep.
Yeah, it really is. This is a sleeper. We might honestly have to flip over to the other match and check that out and do a period over there. But yeah, Tampa Bay, they're sitting back in the 1-3-1 now. They're just controlling it. They're going to score again in the third period. They're going to get out of Chicago with 2 points. Probably go to Gibson's tonight or Maple and Ash and ride it out in the West League.
Maple and Ash. Yeah, I mean, this is probably the worst period of hockey I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but folks, stay with us. We have 1:30 and counting. If you're following along, get at us in the chat. We're going to be going to intermission again as the second frame wraps up in a little less than 90 seconds.
Tanner Janot has been very upset tonight.
Tanner Janot is at the Catalina wine mixer in terms of being in front of the net. All over, guys. I love to see that. He's engaged. He's into the game. He wants to bring guys into the fight. So low and slow, Janot, you look good tonight. You're looking to chuck and duck. I can tell, baby. There's just no willing combatants on the other side for you to go with.
Yep. All right, we're going to head over to the chat now. Tug the horn 1,000 times. Definitely. I tugged the horn 1,000 times this month.
Oh, my Ed Van Horn.
When does the RuneScape stream start? Yeah, I've been off RuneScape grind for a while now, but you're right. I got to get back on. After Gary tried to take away the pride tape, is it too far-fetched to think he'll make the boys go back to wooden twigs, send them back to Gordy again? Gordy ages. You know what? That would be a really funny concept if just one game here, every single team had to use a wooden stick. How funny would that be?
That would be nasty. Shout out to Christian Brothers Sticks. I just ordered my fresh new 3-pack of lumber, Rob. It's going to be unbelievable. That's the next time I'm getting on the sheet is I'm going to throw those wood sticks right in the back of the car, right in the old Bronco, and go touch the sheet because there's just something different when you're using a wood piece of lumber.
I haven't used a wood stick in my God, 25 years.
You use them all the time on the pond.
Yep.
in the just in the wintertime, I'd always, we were still using one pieces when we were growing up, but every time I would get on the pond, I would want that Paul Coffey Sherwood 950 or 9500, whatever it was, and I would bring the torch to it, or maybe even like heat it up over like a gas stove and then just torch it and curve the fuck out of it.
Yeah, but I know a kid that actually kept a wooden stick on the bench intentionally for when he wanted to slash somebody's ankles.
Oh.
Very dirty player, but you have to respect
That used to hurt so
the
bad.
hustle.
Oh my God, folks, 112 and counting as Tampa Bay beats it up the yellow. A little bit of a turnover in the neutral zone, and Chicago sends it up for a tag icing or a touch offsides, I should say. Braden Point dances around. I believe that was Dickinson in the neutral zone. Over to Hagel, who brings it back up to the point to Sergachev. Sergachev looks over his options, fires it to Mrazek. A shot on net, but it was a little bit of a muffin. Chicago, man, no jump, Rob.
Like, they suck right now.
There's
give it to them.
No pulse. That could have been nice. And Corey Perry with a little touch McGraw on that little English, a little more, and he was gone.
I think they had, how many shots did they have coming into this period?
I mean, they had 10.
Yeah, they've been a mess. Like,
and some of those they've got credit for shots were simply dump-ins too. Like,
yeah,
I would say they have 2 or 3 shots this period, if we're being honest, which is crazy to say. Yeah, this one's been a little slow, boys. Stay with us here. We're trying to give you the best experience as you can. We love you following along. Stay with us. Give us something to cheer about, Bedard. Oh. As Nick Paul fires into the bread basket of Peter Mrazek. 3 and a hook. That is 3.5 seconds left. Shots 19-13. Tampa Bay leads this contest live from the UC 2-1. Folks, we are almost to the second intermission. Get at us in the chat. Let us know where you're at. Chirp us. Ask some questions. There's actually been some really good questions tonight.
Good questions tonight.
Keep getting those. That's been entertaining. Ask us anything you want. Hey, we'll be there. We're open books. So
I want to give a little score update too. 5-4 Knights with 1 minute remaining in the third over the Canadians. 1-1 at the end of one for Canucks Flames. Senators obviously won. Penguins Devils. Wow. Devils win 5-2 against Pittsburgh. Coyotes win 3-2 against the Blue Jackets, as we talked about. And we are at the end of the period. There is the horn.
There is the Ed Van Horn. How about Sidney Crosby there tonight, Rob? 36 years old. 3+1. And I've been telling anyone that will listen, and it's crazy to say, and I've been saying it for a couple of years now, I would still, and I'm an idiot, but I would still rather have that guy as my number 1 center over anybody in the league.
Really?
That's McDavid. That is anybody.
You would rather have Crosby over McDavid?
100%.
Wow.
I'm still taking him at 36 years old in a playoff series in a best of 7. If Sid can stay healthy, if Trouba doesn't tuck his chin, man, he's the best grinder of all time. He is insane.
Wow.
The guy is so good. I love his game, and I'm a little biased, obviously, but Crosby, to me, is still playing at a level that is, I don't know. That's father time might catch up to him in the next couple of years, but right now he looks vintage. He's playing it back. He's turned the clock back, and he looks great.
CJ asked, worst injury you've ever had? Hockey related, I assume.
Worst injury I ever had? Honestly, last year, I got absolutely blindsided in the Fondue League.
Ooh, the blindside.
Ooh, yes. Michael Orr, blindside. Yeah, he's still trying to get a little money out of that grease in his way. Anyways, last year, playing in the Fondue League in Switzerland, I got blindsided coming over the offensive blue line, Rob. I was looked up. We were on a power play. I seen 3 of their guys, right? So you have the 2 defensemen, and usually on a power play, the PK is playing dot line. So I look up, I see 3. This guy skates from the other dot to dot. I get a drop pass over the line, and he just tucks my chin right to the sheet. And I get up, I'm like, holy fuck. I don't even really know where I am. I finished the game, but that injury like knocked me out of basically all of last year. I tried to come back, still had symptoms, and yeah, man, that kind of forced me into retirement, sitting on a couch right now. But yeah, I would say that one was the worst I had. I mean, it fucked me up for 9 months.
Dude, the worst is when you don't see it coming. I mean, those are the worst ones. I mean, your brain just isn't built to get hit in the head over and over again, unfortunately. But yeah, I would say for me, it was probably I broke my humerus, which if somebody in the chat can guess where actually people are just going to look it up. It was my arm, this bone right here, from your shoulder to your elbow, right in the middle, called the humerus. And I was playing on a really shitty AA hockey team because I was a garbage player. My coach didn't like me. And unfortunately, my Reebok pumps did end my career because I overpumped them and I had to get ankle surgery.
Pumpernickel.
And pumpernickel lightly toasted with cream cheese further. And I actually sprayed the goalie. I stopped hard. I sprayed the goalie. I was a little bit rattled that game. I was a bit of a shit talker, and the defenseman didn't like it, and he cross-checked my shoulder, and I broke it.
Yeah, that doesn't sound perfect. Like I always
sitting up.
Yeah, was that when you went and saw AB's guy to get the surgery? Or was that a different one?
That was a different one.
You've been banged up a little bit for.
Oh, every year I was hurt. Yeah, every single year. A lot of people.
It's kind of nice because you get Percocets, but that's about it.
Yeah, it definitely fuels my crippling. Anyway, but yeah, my ankle. I don't have full range of motion, so I can't. Whenever I cross over on my inside foot, my right leg, I have to compensate and literally lean my body into it just so I can turn my ankle to catch those edges.
Yeah.
Not an excuse guy, but besides my coach not liking me and my Reebok pumps and my shoulder and my ankle and my MCL, tore my MCL in New Jersey actually. I'd say those are the worst ones for sure.
What else we got here? Any good stories from the Green Bay days? I'm trying to think. Well, the funniest story I think out of Green Bay was we won the Anderson Cup that year, and we shout out to the boys in GBG. I think we still have or hold the record for the best team in USHL history. I mean, we were just certified nasty, but we ended up winning the regular season title, Rob, and it was called the Anderson Cup. And I was
Craig Anderson Cup.
Yeah, and I was coming over from a team in Sioux City that hadn't won anything the last year. We were barely made the playoffs. And Green Bay had this great culture there with a lot of veterans that threw both ways, tough guys like Grant Arnold that would warm up, no bucket on, and just stretch and just literally look for a fight within seconds of warm-ups. Anyways, getting back to the story, we won the Anderson Cup, and I thought we were going to celebrate it a little bit or whatever. And the funniest thing was the guys in Green Bay, we got the Anderson Cup, we won it. Nobody took a picture with it. We threw it right in the shitter. So for 3 months after we clinched the Anderson Cup and then ended up winning the Clark Cup, every time you went to take a shit at the rest center where we played, you would just have this 6-foot trophy because it was actually really high. It was like a big trophy, not 6 feet, but probably like 4 feet. You just sit right next to it while you're shitting. You grab out the magazine, look at the names on it, and all the boys would be like, not the one you want. So we ended up winning the Clark Cup that year. And what did we do? We threw it right in the shitter.
Hell yeah.
We had 2 trophies in the shitter, and we actually broke the Clark Cup that night. We partied in the locker room all night. So that was one funny story out of Green Bay that when we won that Anderson Cup, nobody gave a fuck. We put it right in the shitter, and our coach, Derek Lalone, who's actually coaches for the Red Wings now, just absolutely loved it.
Yeah, shout out to Neeks. Welcome into the chat. But yeah, there's something about, I can't imagine how many times the Stanley Cup has been damaged. Guys are doing weird stuff in it too. I mean, some weird shit's going down with the cup. Okay, what's up, fellas? Going to be boots on the ground for McDavid in Sunrise Monday. Man, there's nothing like watching a game in Miami, dude. And I know people go, it's not Miami. It's actually 40 minutes, whatever. You're right next to Miami. You go to the game. You get a little lit up. You watch it. End-to-end hockey, the DJ's going, you go back to the city of Miami, you pay a Cuban chick to sit on your face, and the next thing you know, you wake up and you're on a beach and your wallet's missing. But that's just part of Miami, and I love going to Florida Panthers games. I mean, they are absolutely incredible. Listen, I used to shit on Florida all the time. I used to say, like, oh, they're fans this, they're fans that. Never again is Emily Kaplan. Wow, makes me want to learn Spanish. Vamos a la playa. I don't even know where she's from, but yeah, I went to a game in Florida. It was actually the San Jose Sharks in town against the Florida Panthers, and it was a party in there. I mean, even though half the concourse was on PCP, I really enjoyed it. So I think Florida is a great place to be, especially to watch Connor McDavidson play hockey. I mean, what an absolute treat.
Yeah, shout out to Sunrise, Florida. Shout out to the greater Miami area, the 305. If you're going there, number 1, get to the Elbow Room, and number 2, get to Moxie's. I know we talk about Moxie's all the time, and we're going to speak our sponsorship deal with them into existence. Get to Moxie's. Go see the trim. Go see the staff. Have an old-fashioned. Have an Irish coffee, and then go to the game, and then after the game, go over to the Elbow Room because that is a spot where a lot of the boys hang out and also just a great dive bar. It was one of those places whenever you landed in Fort Lauderdale, you were coat checking everything at the hotel. You're going up to the room, and 4 seconds later, you're down, getting an Uber right to the Elbow Room, Rob.
I've never been there. I've heard like rumblings of it. Like I know
it's nothing special, right? But it's just such a good spot right off the beach, and it's just a staple. Live music, buckets of beers. Just a place you could smoke a dart sitting at the bar stool at.
Oh, it's getting me so thirsty.
Oh, I could use one. I'm going to try to hold off for Saturday, but God damn it, I am getting thirsty.
Love a cold beer.
Cold beer on a
cheeseburgers.
Friday night.
But
Folks,
it makes me miss Florida, man. I want to get back to Florida. I've been there in so long.
we should rip playoffs there.
We
Hopefully
should.
Tampa Bay or one of these teams. Hopefully Florida makes it. I don't know. I mean, Florida's great, especially in the spring.
I love Florida, dude. I don't know if I would be able to live there full time because I don't want to I don't want to get shot in the head in a road rage incident. But other than that, man, like Florida is just, I don't know. There's something about the air down there. It makes you want to get a little crazy. It makes you kind of want to
it makes you want to get criminal. That's what it makes you want to do.
Yeah, it makes you want to get in a fight with a police officer and try to grab his gun.
It just makes you want to do something a little offside. You know what they always say about Florida, Rob? It's a sunny place for some shady people. Like there's just always just weird shit going on there. Like all the murderings, all these weird, Joe Exotic, all these people are just somehow always related back to Florida. I don't know what it is.
This kid in the Peloton commercial went to my high school.
This guy?
No, not him. The not racist, but the black kid. Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. I'm just tweeting out the link here. Is the link on
that kid? No, you missed him, but it's all right.
Where is the link? Is the link?
It's in my Twitter.
Okay. I am gonna Twitch. Copy the link. Folks, ask us anything. We are goddamn open books over here. We want to provide the people with the best experience. So whatever you have for us, I'm willing to answer it. I know Rob Gucci doesn't give a fuck either. We are live from Scottsdale, Arizona, fully suited up, fight straps on, Tampa Bay leading the Chicago Blackhawks live from the United Center in Chicago on this Thursday night.
Yep, and we are at intermission for everyone new on Twitter that's joining right now. We're at intermission. We're in the chat on YouTube, on Twitch. Shout out to everybody on YouTube and Twitch that's listening. Shout out to everybody that came in last week featuring Paul Bissonnette, who will be back soon. And yeah, we're just kind of battling through this game right now as we had a very boring second period. But good question so far. Somebody told me the Oilers are not back. How should I respond, Rob? I think you just got to let the Oilers do the talking. I mean, they're 4-0 or 3-0 since I set the team back on the right track. I want to see them do well. I don't like seeing teams get ragged on, man, unless it's like the Carolina Hurricanes. I don't like how everybody's piling on Mick Stevenson, piling on Draisaitl, piling on the team. And even Renschkraft, he got released, but I want them. I love an underdog, and not that they're underdogs. I love when teams just shove it right back in your face.
Well, I mean, listen, it's a long season. There's 82 games. There's dog days. They come up, here and there, and it's like a roller coaster. You just got to ride the goddamn waves because right now, at the end of the day, they still have the two best players in the world. Well, they got the best player and the guy that's probably inside the top 5. If he's on his game, he's a top 3 player.
Yep.
Like, they can easily figure this out. And again, they can go on a run. Let's see how they're doing after the new year, right around the All-Star break. That'll be more indicative to actually where this team stands. I mean, you look at a team like St. Louis, 2019. They were in the goddamn basement. They came back. They were in the basement until after the new year. You get a guy like Binnington coming in. They ride that in. So there's a lot of things that can change. You just got to stay with it, Rob, and don't get so negative because things can change in an instance, as we know. But everyone loves just to bag on the team.
Right.
Then they love to talk about how they come back once they start playing well. Oh, yeah, we always knew they had this. Like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, STFU. What do the Wings need to do to actually be nasty? I feel like they're not quite there yet. I mean, I'll hand it off to you, Swish, but I'm just going to say this. I don't think they're supposed to be nasty yet.
No, I think they're a couple of years away from the Yzer plan. I think this is a little bit of a foreshadowing of what this team can be. I think they're a couple pieces away in terms of being an actual like cup contender, but I like their roster. I like their makeup. They're playing hard for their coach. You can tell that they have good veterans in there sprinkled with young players. There's even guys in the American Hockey League like this Simon Evanson that's going to come up and be a really good player. He was a top 5 pick, a guy I actually played against when he was in Sweden. So they have a lot of good young pieces. They have a lot of good, veterans. They have a good goalie in Billy Husso. So this team, I don't think they're expected to do a whole lot of damage this year, but they're coming, dude.
Yeah, they're coming.
It's going to be great when Hockey Town is rocking again.
Yes, I agree. Thoughts on Panthers Kings tonight? Ooh, is that a matchup tonight? Dude, I love watching the Kings right now. They're so good.
Yeah, they are good. They're fun to watch. They have a lot of good forwards. You forget they have like guys like Kevin Fiala. Victor Arvidsson, I believe, is still hurt, but that's a team that, I really, truly like watching. And Doughty's playing like it's 2008 again.
I know, right?
So
he's
sad.
snapping it around. He's pulling up at the blue line and just letting clap rockets go, and
He's
they're
l-
going in.
He's leading the league in TOI right now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's playing like 27 a night. It's crazy. He's 33 years old, 34, I believe, in a month, and he's still getting it done. As we go to the Coyote highlights, it looks like Cooley scored tonight, as we said. Man, Columbus, that's a team.
Good
Ooh,
forecheck.
they're going to be stinky for a bit here. Is that spicy tuna?
Getting a plus. Yep.
Getting a plus. That's huge. Shout out to Liam O'Brien. Auto Shed O'Brien. I love that guy. What cursed the city of Buffalo sports, and why do we have to suffer watching this shit? Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Jakey, a.k.a. Shaky Allen, I mean, he's got to stop turning the goddamn ball over. Like that team, I mean, I believe they're 500 now, maybe a game under. I don't know. It seems like, they could kind of get away with it with a really good defense before, and he could turn the ball over, and he'd be a guy that could, throw for 30 touchdowns, maybe have 10 to 15 picks. And now, when those turnovers aren't amounting to the other side of, the good offensive play, I mean, he looks like a wounded duck in terms of like a gunslinger, like a knockoff Brett Favre right now, like a dollar store Brett Favre back in the day. So hopefully they can figure it out. Tage Thompson got banged up the other night. I hope he's okay. The Sabres, though, I think they look promising. I think that's one thing. Like Detroit, they are coming. It's just going to take a few years in this rebuild.
Why did Don Granato come out and say that Tage was going to miss significant time, and then they were like, "Oh, he's going to miss a couple weeks"? To me, significant time is like months.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was probably the initial shock of probably an injury that they didn't know. It looked like a knee injury. Sometimes those MCLs or PCL, you think it's going to be a little longer than it is, and then the initial swelling goes down, or they'll be able to diagnose it better. Then you kind of find out, hey, it's only going to be 2 weeks instead of 4 to 6.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What was the most TOI you ever had? I think I played like 18 minutes one game. You'd have to check the game film out of all 43 games. But yeah, there was a stretch there where they actually let me play. They didn't have me in the shot collar. And yeah, I think it was about 17, 18 minutes, somewhere in there. Wrenchcroft, yeah, what a name. Jay Wrenchcroft, a.k.a. Woody.
If this game stays as bad as it's been, will you boys extend the streak to watch Islanders versus Kraken for arguably the two worst streamed back-to-back in history? I don't think you could pay me real money. How much would it take for you to stream the Islanders Kraken game for the whole game?
Ooh, I mean, I think everything has its price, and I would be willing to do it. But my God, watching the Islanders play, and then I mean, I talked about it the other night with you, Heat Daddy, in private, but I want to go to the chat to this. I went and watched the Seattle Kraken at Mullet Arena when my brother was playing because, obviously I want to go watch Nick play. And I had to walk out of Mullet Arena after 2 periods. And I love hockey, but I could not stand watching the Seattle Kraken. I was fed up. I was like, I'm going home. And then my brother texted me after. He's like, what do you think of that game? That was a fucking barn burner, eh? I go, well, I had to leave after 2. It was dog shit. It was just, yeah. I don't know. It seemed like Seattle last year, they were playing so hard. They had an identity of their team where they're just going to run you through the wall. They're going to work their bag off. And when they're not going full tilt, full time, I like to call it, they're a team that doesn't have enough skill to really play that game. So it was ugly. I love Dave Hackstall. He was my favorite coach probably I ever played for. So shout out to Hack, who's running the bench there. I played for him at North Dakota, a guy that recruited me to go play up at UND. So I do love him. I just think the boys need to be playing a little bit harder for him.
Yeah, I think it would take maybe $100,000 to get me to sit through that game.
Yeah.
Tax-free, though.
Folks, keep getting at us. I believe we are, 4 to 6 minutes away from the third period starting. Hopefully a little more action Jackson packed into this game in terms of, well, Bedard needs to get going. Chicago needs to have a pulse. It just seems like a sleepy Thursday in Chicago, which, again, off the ice, I know it's not. I know the West Loop's going. I know my sister who lives there in the West Loop. Shout out to Kylie. She loves the fire on a Thursday night. She's probably throwing both ways somewhere. So keep your chins tucked out there, boys. Keep getting at us in the chat. We'll try to give you any entertainment. How many people we got on here?
We have solid 55.
Nice.
Yeah. You fellas need a phone line. Let us call in. Actually, we can technically tweet a link, but the only reason is that I don't know how to stop people from coming in. Rob, they didn't offer dental insurance at the Titans. I don't think they offer. You know what they offered me? Me getting in a car crash with my roommate, and they didn't tell me that he totaled a car on the way to New Jersey, and he's using the GM's spare car, and he crashed that one too with me in it. And I'm going to every day. I'm going to practice with this kid. Car was totaled. Got hit by a box truck.
No.
Yeah, worst car crash I've ever been in.
All right. Should see the other guy.
Yeah, well, I wasn't. Well, it cracked my phone screen, but I got shaken up. But we actually got hit, and we like kind of spun out into a graveyard. Go figure. The irony. So shout out to the Titans for not letting me know that I was driving with a guy with multiple car crashes on his record. Any advice for a lifelong Wild fan going through it right now with the Stars stuffing 8 in our bread box and being on our way to a horrible season?
Yeah, I think times are tough in Minnesota. Honestly, I think Dean Evison has gotten this team to as far as he can. And he's a coach that's hard-nosed. He's a guy that likes to yell. He likes to do the bag skates. He's very old school. I think he shouts and yells, and that kind of runs its course, Rob, especially in this NHL. And it just seems that they're at a crossroads between how they want to play and how the team is responding. And when you get into those, points of the season or even throughout the years of, things you're trying to do year in, year out, and it's not really working, well, the players just start to tune you out a little more by the minute. And I think, you hate to say it, is a coaching change warranted there? I mean, this league, like coaches, you last 2 or 3 years now and they bring in another one. And it just seems like that might be something in store, whether it's mid-season, after the season. I don't know how Billy Guerin and Craig Leopold, the owner there, want to operate, but it just seems to me that they're at a little bit of a crossroads between receiving the message and actually wanting to play for this guy. That's what it looks like. It looks like a disconnect.
Rob, best player you ever played with? Recreationally, Austin Matthews by far. It's not even close. The guy is an absolute freak. I don't know, man. That's a good question. Probably my shout out to my buddy Anthony Stepdaddy. The stepdaddy played at D3 NCAA, but he was such a good player. I played against McAvoy for a game. He's probably the best. Who is how do we feel about okay? Can we get a shout out for the Windsor Spitfires giving up 8 goals in the first period tonight? Holy shit.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable. And anytime you talk about Windsor, Rob, we got to shout out to our boy, friend of the show, Zach Cassian. Go for 1, stay for 2, home by 3 kind of guy. Just absolute legend. So he's a guy that recently retired, as you guys know. Zach Cassian, hanging out in Windsor, beauty. Guy that played with my brother last year, I got to know a little bit. So legend of the game. Anytime you talk about Windsor, put some respect on Zach Cassian's name because he played the game the right way. Folks, if you're following along, we are back live from, North Scottsdale, Arizona, watching the Blackhawks take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Hopefully they wake up a little more over at the United Center because there is a good crowd today.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, you got to give the people what you want. And if they're not really playing hard, man, it's tough to keep coming back, even though they have a guy and a young prospect, obviously, in Connor Bedard.
He's been quiet tonight, and you got to think. I mean, the last time Bedard played the Lightning, he had 4 points. So I guarantee you they're shutting him up. But yeah, I mean, this is a great save by Mrazek. He's been dialed in. Great crowd in Chicago on a Thursday night, and they're kind of just letting them down right now. Hopefully, we can get some action here in the third period. We are back live. We are watching the Chicago Blackhawks at home take on the Tampa Bay Lightning, and we are at 18:54 in the game if you're following along. And shout out to everybody in the chat. We'll answer those at the commercial break.
Yes, sir. That comes around 13 or 14 minutes, folks. The first one, then around 8, and then again at 5. So, like Rob said, 18:35 and counting, live from the UC. Chicago needs a little bit of a push here. Otherwise, this one's going to get out of hand. Peter Mrazek, honestly, one of the only reasons why they're still in this game. He's looked good tonight. He's been square to the puck. Pistol Pete playing in vintage Mrazek form, the Czech fella. So good to see that. Oh, my God.
Oh, my. Someone died.
No one's going to do anything about that? What? Who got
why are they not even talking about that? Someone just got buried.
Someone got absolutely Ted Bundy'd. Oh, my God.
Why did the announcers not even say anything? Is that just us? Are we on acid?
Did he just get murdered and nobody turned around? Oh my
The fans didn't even say anything. What is going on? What is in the water in Chicago tonight besides blood?
Oh my!
As we have a 2-on-1 with the worm. Oh, good stuff.
Yes!
Oh!
Let's go. We got a game, folks.
Oh my God!
Wow, that was Harlem Globetrotters. That was in slow motion, wasn't it?
Tic-tac-toe. Yeah, that was Jonas Tommy Johansson had no idea what was going on. It was kind of like a weird.
God, it was like a weird saucer pass.
Sauce, a little late.
Then a weird play in the middle as people are filing out of the UC are still trying to find their seats as they were getting drunk between intermission. But what a slow moving play. I mean,
Great play by Perry. I mean, he's in full speed as a 39-year-old there. A little saucer play over Hedman. That was a nice pass by
That
14.
was sick.
14.
Dickinson, the awareness on Dickinson to know that Perry stopped backdoor there and just slammed that fucker.
That was a great play. Nice play by Dick. Look at that. Oh, one touch McGraw in the forehand. That was, I mean, Jimmy Johansson, Johannesburg didn't even expect that. Like, what a play. Even Perry was surprised. Like, Dickinson, I didn't think you had that in your game. I thought you were just a borderline AHL player. But, hey, Corey Perry, shout out to the Worm, still getting it done. 421st goal. My God, that's a lot of tuckaroos.
And we have a game, 2-2 now. And now it's going to be Bedard time. And I don't know what this means, but somebody in the chat said he hit him with the old Mandalay Bay. I don't know exactly.
Well, Mandalay Bay is the place that got shot up before the Vegas Golden Knights inaugural season. So I don't know.
I don't know what that means, but that's kind of
funny.
Offensive, but it's funny. Not offensive to me, but.
No, I like something offside, but I don't even know what that really means. But anyways, folks, back to the game. 17-12 and counting as Connor Murphy rounds out of his own trapezoid, slides it back to his D partner, who is behind the cage, massaging it like a deep tissue piece of hot rock Wagyu.
Ooh. Little deep tissue and a strip mall.
Korchinski, that's a kid that was a 7th overall pick a couple years ago. Looked actually pretty good so far this season for a young defenseman. I always find, Rob, it's so hard for young defensemen to break into the National Hockey League. It's easier for a forward to come up because you can kind of hide, especially at wing. You don't have as many responsibilities. But when you're playing defense, especially against the best players in the world, it's so hard to learn the game, and learning on the fly and working with these young players. It's even on a young team like Chicago, props to him for being able to play in the National Hockey League. Kid.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're a center, you can maybe play wing, or if you're a wing, you can maybe play center. There's a lot more flexibility as a forward. So Austin Watson and Perry were kind of going at it on the bench there, but
it looked like a little. I don't know if they were playing swords there, or I don't know what was going on. But Corey Perry, never shy to show what's going on and where he's at with his game. What is going on? Why are they buzzing the tower? Oh, they're announcing the goal.
Oh,
that was juicy.
Let that go, Bedard.
Watching Bedard, he's going to get a lot better, and he doesn't have that breakaway speed. Rob, is he a guy that you could see in the future that would be able to put up, 110 points?
That's a dive.
Is he a guy that you could see tucking 50 goals in the league? Is that something that's doable for him? I mean, he's only 15 games into his career. I think he's a 50-goal guy. Is he a high-end point producer? I guess we'll see who he has and who he's able to play with in the next couple of years in terms of if they're able to sign some players. But I don't know. I think he needs to develop a little bit more of a fast twitch muscle or step in terms of if he really wants to separate himself. But he can work on that too, right? He's not drinking. He's not eating fast food. I would say that would be my one critique watching him early in his career.
Yeah, maybe send him down to Rockford for a little. I'm just kidding, but
send him back to the Dub.
I'm glad they didn't call the Dub.
Right back to Regina and Boston Pizza.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't call that on Kucherov. That was an absolute dive on the Cooch Daddy. As folks, Jay Swish has his skates on. Can we get a little love in the chat? I mean, he's going full skates on right
I actually
now.
got him sharpened today too, boys. I took him over to the Coyotes trainer that stays here and got the old 3/8 on him. I like them a little short. I like to be able to silhouette turn on them. So close to a goalie sharpening on these things. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. 16 minutes left in the final frame is a nice exit by Chicago. A middle pop over to Chins are on the ground tonight in Chicago.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys falling down. Shout out to Scott Hartnell, the Hartnell Down Foundation.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what's going on here? Is the ice bad? Did the Bulls play last night?
One time I was watching a Rangers game, and there was a lot of guys falling down. My mom said, "What's going on, Rob? Is the ice more slippery tonight?" And I thought it was just a funny mom moment. And because my dad, never mind. All right, folks, as the puck gets in deep and wrap around the corner by Mrazek up to the point here.
Darren Radish collects it, sends it down the wall. I hate that play when you just send it right down the goddamn wall. At least look at your D partner, see if he's open.
I used to go 3/8 on my skates too, like way back in the day when I had leg muscles and I could push off. But now I can't.
They make you work a little harder, but if you're going back for Biskies, it's just you can turn on a goddamn dime. Yeah, no sock tape on, boys. Sorry, I was getting dressed really quick. I went the old Timu Solani where you get dressed in about 60 seconds. I was running a little late. We were getting our Irish coffees dialed in. So Yeah, I went pregame shower, cold tub, Normatex, and I looked down on the clock and it was already 6 o'clock. So no tape on. I apologize. It will be on next week. Fight strap is on though, and chin is tucked. So we got 2 out of 3 correct. Folks, I think the first commercial break's coming up in the next 90 seconds, maybe a minute, depending on when play stops. But ask us anything. Get at us in the chat. We have 2-2 here in Chicago, live from the couch in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona.
Ooh.
Thursday night when you just want to get absolutely cocked, but you might have to save it for the weekend because you're 30 years old and it's not like it's 1986 anymore. Folks, what is up? Oh, Donato. Stamkos keeps it in. Hagel tries a little give and go play. He's unsuccessful as Hedman brings back the puck into his own zone right by the top of the circles and now back to the cage for a little reverse play that was successful. And whistle.
What the fuck just happened there?
No, Hedman got a little lackadaisical with the pill there. Chicago might have something here. They're looking a little better.
Yeah, they're looking better.
It's just tough when they don't really have the best roster, right? It's like, how can you really get something going when you don't have anything going?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's so cliche, but you got to shoot the puck. They've had 3 shots in the last, 20 minutes, probably more.
Okay, here we go. Bedard with a little space, toe in, shoot.
Oh, if that would in, I would have absolutely shot mayonnaise.
Is that bar? Or did it just miss a little
I
wide?
think he missed.
I don't like that shot.
Yeah, I don't like that shot either.
I mean, come on. I mean, I guess shoot to get hot, shoot to stay hot. That's my own motto. But
Take a look at what happened here.
let's take a look at that little 2-on-1 play he had. That's like the first time he's really had a little space, Rob, this game in terms of trying to, break away and get a decent look. I wouldn't say that was a grade A, but, grade B.
Yeah, it's a good look. We're going to take it to the chat here, folks. Does that helmet pass the HECC certification? This is an old school. I don't know what it's called, but it's the CCM helmet.
Yeah, you got the white loops on that thing. Visor cocked to the ceiling. I love that. Folks, ask us anything. We are at our first commercial break live from Scottsdale, Arizona. Switch, what's better, the Roxy or the Elbow Room? So listen, these are way different vibes. I mean, that's like comparing a blonde chick with pale skin from Scandinavia and a Brazilian skunk.
Oh,
out the Coco Cabana, straight from the volleyball court of the beach. Like it's 2 different things, right? So if you're going in the Roxy, it's Vancouver. You're going to get a nice array of women. It's a little bit different. It's not a total club where you're going to need bottle service, but I believe they might have that option. I never got it there. I've only been there once or twice. But the Elbow Room, I mean, you're walking in with a Tommy Bahama shirt. You got the floral on. You got your half high because you just whacked a one hitter. The sun's out. The beach vibes. You're listening to Jimmy Buffett. Shout out to him. R.I.P. So it's a lot different vibe. I mean, me personally, I love a beach bar. I mean, I love palm trees, Rob. I love chicks with fat asses.
Love an ass. Love a good donk.
Nice outhouse. Just a sub-zero refrigerator back there. So me personally, 2 different vibes. Like I was saying, if I'm picking one of them, I'm going to be beachside. I'm going to find my beach. I'm going to get on the Coronas, and I'm going to go from there.
Will these streams be following the tarps off, trousers off, covered in oil rules for overtime in the playoffs? Well, that's going to be pending per Darren. We will let you know in the playoffs. But, yes, that is an old school rule of mine that I tweeted a while back. And Chili's tonight, that would be awesome to go to Chili's. I heard Theo Vaughn said something about Chili's.
Chili's is so good, dude. Shout out to Chili's.
You know what Theo Vaughn said? He said Chili's is like all your buddies in high school come together and just develop a restaurant.
It really is. Like their queso is actually so good. I used to go to Chili's after every home game, weekday game in Chicago when I was playing at the Allstate Arena for the Wolves in the Jungle. My dad would drive down from Madison, Wisconsin, 2 hours, and we go to Chili's after every game. It was unbelievable. The fajitas, dude, they're sneaky good.
Oh, love a good fajita. Puerto Rican or French chicks? I've actually never met a French chick.
Oh, Montreal, those girls, my God. Look
just
out.
Horny as hell.
Horny
and the whistle blows.
I might go French chicks, dude.
Alrighty,
folks, we're back to the action here. Keep firing away at the chat. We're going to have about 3 or 4 minutes, and there'll be another commercial break. So keep firing away. Tampa Bay leading in the shots, 25-15. I mean, despite these 2 goals Chicago's had, Rob, there hasn't been a whole lot of action in terms of the offensive zone for the Blackhawks.
No, there hasn't. Go to McDick's order. I just want to touch on this. You know what I've been doing when I'm a bit drunk? I get the Big Mac, but I take that middle bread out because it's too much bread, and I just eat a Big Mac. And I think that's actually the same thing as a quarter pounder. I don't know.
Yeah, the 2-pad stack it.
Yeah, but I've just been sucking on McDonald's burgers when I'm drunk, so I'd say that.
Yeah, McDick's. I love a good Big Mac. Do you ever do the I don't know, people call it like the McGangbang or whatever. You put the
chicken.
McChicken inside the burger. I mean, if I'm 3 sheets to the wind, I'm high and I'm drunk, like that's probably what I'm gonna eat. But I haven't had McDick's in a while. It's so good.
I've never tried it, but yeah, McDonald's for me is strictly like I gotta be so goddamn drunk.
Yeah, you can't be seeing that thing clearly. Like you're seeing triple. Anyways, folks, keep chirping away. Ask us anything in the chat. We have 12, 20 and counting in this game. Obviously, we're still suited up for you guys. We got our fight straps on. We're ready to throw both ways. Hell, we might even go have dinner in our fucking shit after this if they let us in. So Tyler Mott brings it over the line. It looked like a little bit of a hold there.
Good idea there, but I'd love to see that puck get on net right there.
Yeah, steady.
It's just not clicking that much tonight. It's just everything's a little bit off besides the first period.
Yeah, the first was good. A nice sauce bat by Mikey Eisenmount there as he gets stood up by Tyler Johnson. Tyler Mott shoots, fires wide. Or that was Janot. Sorry, folks. Taylor Radish with an absolute cheeseburger up the wall. Cheeseburger Eddie. What the hell is going on?
What the fuck is going on?
Nick Paul just got shot by somebody in the crowd. John Wilkes Booth sniped him out of midair. Cernak, I'm not sure if you're a toe drag guy. Maybe just beat that thing down the wall, baby. Oh, Paul.
That was a hook.
Paul is like out of control. Like he can't even control himself. He might have had a night last night over at the Texan in the West Loop.
You ever been to that seafood place in Chicago? It's called like RMC or RMP.
RPM Seafood?
RPM Seafood.
Oh,
yeah. What an establishment.
Yeah, all the RPMs. RPM Italian there, RPM steak. Those are all good.
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
it's just, there's working women in there. There's fondue. I mean, you can get it all, baby. Oh, nice. What a play by Stamkos. That's how you know you play with a guy a few years there. Just know where he is, right through the middle of the ice, under the puck. Braden Point, man. He buzzes.
Yeah, he's skating hard out there tonight.
Folks, 10:45 and counting. Nice slip play by Braden Point as they go over the Chicago blue line. Watson playing with the big boys. Maybe they're caught out there for a long shift, but Nicky Prebricks out of St. Cloud. Decent little player, actually. A little diamond in the rough there. A Neil Diamond in the rough, I'd say.
Ooh. Oh, man, take a look at my life.
Oh, man.
I'm a lot like you were. Shout out to Neil. Oh, that's Neil. Is that Neil Diamond? No.
Might be Neil
else.
Stone. Yeah. Neil Young. Shout out Winnipeg, Manitoba.
My bad.
Darren Radish, you're going to dump this thing and someone's going to go find it. Wow. Actually made a nice little play over the line there.
It's all lightning right now. I mean, they're pressing.
Oh, my God. Check your lumber, fella.
10 minutes remaining here in the third period if you're watching with us as
Ryan Donato makes a shifty little outside in move. That was pretty nice for the scholar from Harvard University.
Imagine going to Harvard, but then you're just like, I'm going to the show. That's kind of sick.
Yeah, it's kind of like, why did I do that? You know, like,
why did I go to Harvard?
Why did I go to Harvard when I could have went to North Dakota and drank 40 beers a day? But anyways, that's besides the point. It's tightening up a little bit this game as we now have a 2-on-1 with Cooch. Oh my God!
I don't know where the hell that puck went.
I would just like a guy like Hagel there. I know he's looking for Cooch because he wants to give it to the big dog back there. But like, dude, throw that on the net. I mean, you know, you have a grade A look inside the dots. You don't need to go back door there when it gets. The play was closing off so much as they got into those hash marks. I think if he throws that on the cage, especially something stick side high on Pete Mrazek, he might have a goal there. Again, we're a couple assholes sitting on the couch here, folks. Easier said than done when you're just sitting here in your full gear. Haven't played a game in a year. 93-1.
And this stream is brought to you by Butter Golf and Heat Daddy merch. As here's a block shot. A lot of block shot. Oh, Connor
Murphy. Only Jesus saves more
behind
than that.
enemy lines.
My God, that was a nice little play to keep the boys into it. Kucherov just a spin around pass to no one. I love that. D to D, find the F3 high. No, Vicky Hedman sends it to the cage. Folks, 8:28 left and counting. There will be a commercial break at the next whistle, I believe, if my math checks out. Please get at us in the chat. Thank you for staying with us. Again, as the Heat Daddy said, this game and this stream brought to you always by Heat Daddy merch and Butter Golf. Butter Golf is the official.
Oh my God.
Wow. Victor Hedman down below the goal line. Did that go off the glass?
Yup, an unexpected bounce. You just get blindsided. It's like coming home from work and your wife, welp,
You catch the early flight home from San Diego. And a couple nude fashion people jump out of the closet like a goddamn magic show.
They're just plowing your wife.
And it stops right there. I guess what my friend is trying to say is true love is blind.
What the fuck happened here? Look at this play. Oh!
The Murph dog was able to save it, but
Could you imagine getting the early flight home and your wife is just getting absolutely in a rear naked choke? That was a crazy bounce. You hate to see that. Look at Bedard. Was that Bedard laying out like that for that block?
I mean, Cernak, that wouldn't have hit a soccer net, and that thing comes right back on the tape to none other than his D partner, Rob, who's below the goal line, finds himself with an open net, an old Catherine Tappan on the back door, the old Daryl side door. I'm using a lot of terminology for you folks. But anyways, Tampa Bay leading this game 3-2 with 7:30 and counting. Folks, again, ask us some questions. We have about 7 minutes left. There will be a TV timeout at the next whistle. Ask anything to the Heat Daddy. Ask anything to Swish. What you'd like to see. Maybe a game that we could even sneak in early week next week before Turkey Day.
Little rough stuff.
Oh. Now Chicago. Okay,
and also
funny how that works. Like the whole game you're asleep, and then you get scored on late in a game, under 10 minutes, and then now you're going to respond for this emotional push. It's like, boys, it's a little too late. I mean, if you're throwing right now, it's not really doing anything. Especially when you get inside 5 minutes, you're going to need a goal to tie this thing up. So why are you risking the chance of taking an offsetting minor or even maybe putting your team, down a man?
Yeah, it's a little too late, but there is still time. And we're going to take it to the chat here. Do you think the stream gets taken down if you replace the picture up there with a mirror? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we got to work that out. I mean, I think right now, we're not exactly the Manning cast where you can have the game going on, but that is the dream. The boys can dream. So right now, you just got to follow along with us chirping about whatever the hell's going on. But we appreciate you for staying with us, folks.
100%. Would the boys recommend living in Arizona?
I mean,
good question.
Next question, fella. Yeah, absolutely. This place, besides 2 months out of the year when it's hotter than hell, and you got to stay inside because it's fucking. You could you could fry a turkey on the sidewalk some of these months, July, August. But yeah, Rob, I mean, it doesn't get better than AZ.
Yeah, I like it. Can you guys stream a Canucks game soon?
100%. Yeah. We'll try to get to that next week, maybe before Turkey Day. I would love to do that. They look great. Quinn Hughes playing great. Ricky Tocchet, a.k.a. the real Rocket. What a beauty. So, yeah, we'd love to do that.
Speaking of the Canucks, is Quinn Hughes better than Bobby Orr? I would say statistically and, just knowing the game now, yep. Was he as influential as Bobby Orr? Well, who knows? We'll have to wait and see, Swish.
No, he's not going to be putting up like 150 points like the late or, not dead, so not the late, but Robert Gordon Orr. He was a great player. So, yeah, Quinn Hughes, I think he's a modern day Bobby.
That tap in by Hedman makes me want to take my shirt off and butt chug a couple for locos. Fuck, I love a set of Cannon Boys. That sounds like my kind of guy. Just down to drink and down to talk about tits.
Is there anything better than just sitting at the bar, getting a little intoxicated, and then you're getting the wait staff or the girl that's helping you out that you're not going to take home because you have zero wheels, but you can act like it and tip her 30% as just a nice pair of fun bags.
Yes.
There's nothing better. I mean, that's just good, clean fun, Rob.
Thoughts on trying to get RA on the stream for some good times? No basketball court. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Is there a reference to the RA thing? Did RA say something about our tweet? I don't know.
Love to see RA on. Yeah, he was chirping at us when Biz was on. He's like, is this stream even legal? And we told him it's not legal in 48 states, but thank God we were in one of them that hasn't outlawed us yet. So, yeah, I'd love to.
Schmaltzy, waxed or unwaxed laces? Good question.
Size 8 1/4 on my left side skate, size 8 1/2 on my right. Waxed laces 96. Confirmed. Always wax, baby.
Yep, I like my laces I like my women. Yep, wax.
Nice Brazilian wax job.
Smoother than a NASCAR track as we have 7 minutes, 23 seconds remaining.
Like a shuffleboard board, just nice and waxed.
Nick Paul Does It All is somehow in the box. I actually don't know what this is about.
I don't know if the league is just doing this. Gary probably called it in. Let's take a couple more.
4-on-4.
We got 4-on-4 like we were talking about Chicago. What's the point of that? One more question before the last little bit. Who is the white whale guest of Hockey Night in Scottsdale? I mean, there's a few. I would say for me, I mean, I don't know if it's realistic or not, but I mean, Wayno's got to be one. I mean, if we're really shooting high, but I would love, again, we talked about Elliot Friedman. I think, I don't know. I think anyone, Rob, like if we get any
anybody.
former or current players, like there's no one person I would love, just anyone in the game. I think as we grow this thing out, especially when we hit the road, getting on tour, we'll be able to get more people. So, folks, thank you for being at the start of this thing. We have so much fun doing it. I look forward to this every week, chopping it up. I mean, we're in fucking full gear here. Free, sit on our couch. I mean, I love it.
I don't think anyone's ever done this before.
No, I mean, this is hilarious.
It's kind of cool to be. I don't think anyone in the entire world has done this before. I mean, it's kind of cool to do something that no one else has ever done.
No, I mean, I have never seen someone literally strap up. I mean, you brought your bag over today, dude. How funny is that?
Like, I brought my hockey bag into your condominium.
Yeah, and I had to
to
go get
stream.
my bag, and we were like, yeah, we're suiting up. You know, of course we are. Why wouldn't we? It's Bedard. He's let us down a little bit tonight, but hey, it is what it ain't.
Yeah, it's nice to do something that, no one's ever done before. And I can't say that about any of my ex-girlfriends. Well, everyone has done them.
Ooh, little top.
We have a 4-on-4 with 1:12 remaining. Or sorry, 1:10 remaining on the 4-on-4. 6 minutes and 30 seconds remaining on the score clock in the third frame. Tampa Bay leads the Chicago Blackhawks 3-2.
And we'll see here what, Bedard can do. I don't know if he's going to change here on this back check, but you like to think that this maybe opens it up a little bit. And I like that he's playing with Reichel on this 4-on-4 because he's one of the only guys in Chicago that has had his legs tonight, in my humble opinion. So Seth Jones lugs a mail through the middle of the ice. Can he kick it out? Not a bad shot there for a guy making 9 and a hook. He's been quiet tonight. I think he's just been kind of quiet ever since he's been to Chicago.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, a couple of those years when he was in Columbus and, Torch was really demanding a lot of him. He's playing with Werenski. Like, man, I thought for a while there, like he was like a top 5 kind of defenseman.
No, yeah.
And he got paid off of that.
Him and Werenski were unbelievable there in Columbus. And 72 kind of, a little nifty through the zone all the way down to the corner.
Yeah,
That's going to kill the clock a little bit. I like that for them.
A little shimmy shake. Darren Radish rounds the net, sends it up. 60-foot pass to Nikita Kucherov, who finds Braden Point streaking over the line. This is a goal.
Oh, good save by Mrazek. He's been sick all night, dude.
Yeah, he just shot that in the gluten-free bread basket, the one they bring over at Olive Garden that everyone turns down. I need extra gluten in that thing.
All right, we're at commercial break. We're gonna go to the comments. You should wear the pit vipers during warm-ups. Oh, that would be so nasty.
Remember when Pasta wore the shades for the outdoor game? I thought that was nasty.
Yeah, the pink ones.
Keep getting at us here, folks. Swish, you Eskimo bros, with anyone in the show. Trying to think. Had a longtime girlfriend. I think a couple, though. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. Probably. I don't know. Fuck.
All right, folks.
On ice style right now. For me, I'm always big into the defenseman. I'm trying to think of a nasty demon. I love Cale Makar, how he goes tongues up. He's got 6 style. I love that Bauer helmet he wears. Good tape job, white tape. That's huge for me. Black tape, you're a pigeon if you use that person. I think like guys with white tape, I just always think you just look a little more silky. Who am I to say? But yeah, I love Cale Makar. Like that's how I would dress if I was playing in the National. Would be Makar.
I love Nylander. I think his style looks sick. Yeah, I love Nylander. He looks sick. I'm trying to think of someone.
It's like a style like of all time, though, like Kovalev.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be Kovalev.
I wish the white Reeboks were still a thing because those skates were so nasty. I was always envious of the guy that could wear the white Reebok. I remember when David Perron, I played with him a little bit, and I would always be like, Davey, you want to wear the white Reeboks, you got to be around a point a game.
Yeah.
So keep that point per game average right around 1 because otherwise we might have to dust the spray paint off and, take care of that. But he was always a guy that could pull the white Reeboks off.
Question for both of the fellas. Estimated career number of pucks picked up after practice. I picked up the pucks a lot because it's one of the things I like to do, work on my hands and try to flip them into the bucket or the bag.
For sure. And if you're a rookie, like respect the game. You're picking up pucks all the time. And I even like staying out there and just, like you said, dusting them off. And if you're one of the last guys on the sheet, fucking around, yeah, always pick them up. Never make the trainers. No matter if you're in the NHL, beer league, get on your fucking knees, fella. You're not that fucking good. Pick up the biskies. Realistically, how many birds do you think Bedsy has taken down since opening night? You think he's spreading his DNA all over the city.
Man, I don't know. I think he lives with his mom, so that's going to be hard to tuck. I mean, and on the road, I'm sure he's probably just like a Normatec, get a rub from the trainer and go to bed. I mean, I can't see this guy really tucking.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
feel
know
like
if he has a girlfriend, but like I wouldn't say like I'm not just saying this to bag on the kid, but I'd be shocked if he had 5 career notches.
no disrespect.
I don't know
He
him at
just cares.
all.
He just loves hockey.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I think he's so hockey. Like I don't think he's thinking about going reverse 69 with some girl in the West Loop matching her on Hinge.
That's what I would think about. Which road city has the craziest swish? Would you play for the North Korean national team if Kimmy asked you to? Some questions I just
the sheet's right.
Yeah.
Which
Right,
road
I'll
city
go
has
anywhere.
the craziest crowd? Dude, I love Winnipeg, especially in playoffs. That whiteout is all time. Montreal is always good going into there. Those French people, they're nuts. I'm trying to think where else. I mean, Carolina, dude, sneaky. Did you see those? By the way, did you see those Hartford Whalers jersey? We need to get. Do you see those Cooperalls they're gonna wear?
Yeah, those are
We need a
fucking.
pair of those for hockey night.
Those are insane.
Those are so sick. And then you wear the Jackie Moon headband for warm up. You go no bucket. I mean, talk about National League. Anyways, folks, we'll get back at the chat. I believe there's one more TV timeout. Keep asking away, and thank you for staying with us. This game right now, shots 27-14 in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning. They lead the Chicago Blackhawks on the road as Hagel brings it over.
Oh, Chip? Nope. Chicago's having 14 shots. Chicago's 1 shot in the last 2 hours.
Imagine having 14 shots and it's the third period. Like, they're going to end the game with 17 if they're lucky. What a pass. Tampa Bay is just controlling this game like just a veteran group does. I mean, they're all over their neck.
They're looking for that insurance right now, full State Farm, and you know what? I think they're going to get it.
Yeah, this looks like a power play, even though it's 5-on-5. They got the 5 of dice going right now, Rob. And what a 5 of dice is 2 guys on the dots, 1 guy in the middle, and then the 2 defensemen, obviously 5 of die. Yeah.
Oh, watch out.
God.
Kucherov, too.
But Darty, how's your shoulder, fella? How's your burger? Yeah, knocked the wind and the twig right out of him. That Sherwood 68 flex. Folks, 3:32 and counting over here at Hockey Night in Scottsdale. Thank you for staying with us. It hasn't been the most entertaining game, but we are trying to bring the entertainment to you, the folks. 93.1 and yours truly, the Heat Daddy.
Yeah, and how was the microphones? I just wanted to ask. We had 68 people in there. Shout out to Yarmir Yager. How has the microphones been, if anyone wants to ask? But, yeah, Swiss, we're hanging in here. I mean, I'm not going to lie. This game has put me to sleep. Shout out to Wet Jeans. I did a little recording today for Wet Jeans. So, but you know what? You just got to keep battling. And
yeah, absolutely. I think we've tried to provide the entertainment anyhow, Rob. We have 3:32 and counting in this game. There hasn't been a whole lot to talk about in terms of, even last week with the toilet bowl and a lot of steam coming out of that one. But we want to keep providing you, the folks, the entertainment. Chirp us in the chat. Get at us. Ask us any late night, last second questions. We appreciate you for staying with us. This game has been okay, but hey, it's you, the folks, that make it. And we are rounding out the final frame here with 3 minutes. Chicago needs a late push. We'll see if they can maybe send this to, bonus hockey over at the United Center. Again, live from the couch in fucking full gear. Beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona.
Swish, we want to hear about how horrible Sammy Blaze is at wheeling.
Well, I think he's a taken man now. I play with Sammy Blah Beauty, actually. Good Frenchman from Mont-Ami, just up there on the St. Lawrence River, north of Montreal, about 2 hours. How bad he is at wheeling? I mean, not bad, dude. I mean, when he was single, he was doing okay. I mean, you're playing in the National League, right?
Yeah, you got the blue check.
You got the blue check. You pull up your Instagram. You pull up your games played.
You got the blue check. You got the game check. That's going to be a switch.
Right. People Google you. You're on the Blues. Good. So, yeah, he always did all right. Girls like that French accent. He's actually a goofy bastard. He's a good dude. So, shout out to Sammy Blade. Throws the weight around on and off the sheet.
Yeah, and like Swish was saying earlier, we're going to do this at pretty much every week. Every week we can. We're going to be having a little bit of tour dates going on that once we finalize, we're going to announce. We'd love to see you guys there. I mean, all you guys have to do is show up. I know in North Dakota, some people thought you had to buy tickets, but that's not the case. And, yeah, man. love that you guys are tuning in. I think this is by far the most action we've ever gotten besides last week when Biz was here. So thank you to everyone that's tuning in. We're working hard to battle and do this for you. I mean, we're wearing full gear on the couch here. I'm sweating my ass off.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to need a shower after this, maybe a cold tub, maybe an Asian massage. Ooh, that hits different, especially when she's tugging you off with the other hand she normally doesn't use. Can you do that for me, baby? One time.
That's a skill that
141 left, Rob, in the final frame. United Center in Chicago on the west side. Chicago trailing 3-2 to the visiting Tampa Bay Lightning. They will need a little bit of a push, I imagine, once the puck gets into Tampa's zone. Pete Mrazek will be coming off the ice as Philip Kurashev. Looks like he was almost going 5-hole there. Yeah, Steve Levy, you make a great point there. I can't remember the last time they had a shot on net in Chicago. I think it was maybe pre-lockout in 2004, 2005. They are now up to 15 shots on the night. That, my friend, is not perfect. Darren Radish with a hot and ready pizza that came off his twig like a hot potato.
that was like a sneaky good chance. I mean, Johansson played it well. He got out in front of it. Like, look at him outside the paint.
Really like that shot, kind of 5-hole. Like you're thinking he's going to pick a corner and Kurashev. Pete Mrazek, buddy, you worked hard tonight. Get yourself a beer or a Czech Pilsner after the game. As Tyler Johnson steps into the dot, trying to win one against Nick Paul. Chicago able to claim the puck up to Seth Jones at the right point. He fires one at the net. Not sure why he shot that when he had Bedard on the left side.
I don't know about that play.
Hagel races down 200 feet. Jones able to steer him off the puck. Corey Perry collects it below his goal line, and Chicago resets, bringing the puck up the ice. Folks, a minute left if you're following along in the chat. Bedard gets it 200 feet, and this game is going to cover my over. I had the puck line. That was at 1.5. Yep. That is the clincher, and that probably is the puck line. I also had Bedard. Did you get a point on that first goal?
No.
So no points for Bedard. I had him at over a half a point, but as a gambling man, like I always do, it's just never win. But if you can tie, I guess.
I mean, that's a hell of a puck line bet right there.
Yeah.
I don't know about that play from Bedard either.
Oh, that's what I was saying. I was calling him Bettman as he was doing it, but what was he doing? You never want to dump it at that angle, Rob, right? Because it always comes out, and the defense going back for the puck is able to collect it because it's just a straight puck. If you put it in the corner and on the yellow, well, at least it's like a dirty puck.
Right.
If you go collect it, well, there's a chance he's going to turn it over. Maybe he's going to have to beat it around the yellow. That right there is just such an easy play for a defenseman when it squirts out right on the dot lane to him, and he can just flip it out.
Yep, 42 seconds. Neeks, you're welcome. Thanks for streaming top-notch coverage from the leading analyst of the best game in the world. Thank you very much. I got to say, being in full gear for 2 hours and wearing a helmet for 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
actually
it almost feels like the first day of football practice when you try that helmet on and it's hot in August. And I mean, we got the AC on at 65, and I'm still sweating. Holy fuck! I'm gonna literally need a shower after this. So, folks, again, thank you for following along. Chicago. 31 seconds left. It's not looking like they'll be able to tie this thing up considering they have 15 shots on the night, but Tampa Bay looking to maybe build off a momentum win here in Chicago. They probably expected a veteran group coming into Chicago to win this game, but hey, any win in the National Hockey League you'll take the 2 points on the road and survive and advance, as I would always say. Chicago with a little bit of a chance in front as Radish slides it to Donato. No dice there as this one goes 200 feet. Murphy collects it in front of his net. If he didn't, it was probably going to be another.
Fiala scored. Hoffman scored. You're welcome, T. Spence. We appreciate you stopping in.
In the dying seconds, we'll take one last question, folks. Again, live from Scottsdale, hockey night in Scottsdale. We appreciate you stopping by. We love this night. Live from the couch, full gear, fight straps on, throw them both ways, good chins. So one last question Rob will take. And then we will peace out and sign off for Hockey Night in Scottsdale live from the couch. Folks, one last question we'll take.
Next one gets it.
We are not doing a doubleheader, no. I'm sorry. I got to take the gear off.
Alarm boy says hi, right back at you. Ooh, what for dinner? What do you think of Ohtani probably making $500 million this winter? Yeah, what an absolute G.
What an absolute G. How are you tonight? How are you? Heard a lot about you. What kind of night it is? Well, I am going to try to take it easy. I got an early bird. I got to go back to LA tomorrow.
Oh, that's insane.
I got to get on the
I can't
bird.
believe it.
My flight's at 8 a.m., so I got to leave here at 6, and then I'm coming back at 10 p.m. So
Oh, you'll be back tomorrow.
be back tomorrow, but it's late. Like I would rather drink during the day on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's cool with you. If
Yeah.
you want it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a couple.
Having a couple chilly ones. Maybe we're at Moxie, see where it leads us. So,
Yep.
folks, again, that is the Heat Daddy. That is DJ Swish. That is 93.1. Hockey Night in Scottsdale. Tampa Bay covered the puck line. The tweet I sent out, 142. Bedard, sleepy night tonight in Chicago. Fella, young kid, get back. Get a gluten-free meal in you. Don't get any fast food. We know you're not going to eat the shit. But, again, Heat Daddy, this is probably our 5th or 6th one of these.
Yep.
We're going to do one a week. So, folks, thank you again for tuning in. And that will conclude it. Heat Daddy, wrap it up, baby.
Yeah, no, we appreciate everyone that's came in here. Shout out to everyone that contributes in the chat. It means the world. And with that being said, from Scottsdale, Arizona, that was Hockey Night in Scottsdale.